Previously on #DORK. On November 20th, 1992, East Verona High School was shocked by the death of 18-year-old senior Jamie Banks. Jamie fell from a 6th-floor window. Investigators ruled it a suicide and closed the case, but Jamie didn't commit suicide. She was murdered. Our first objective is to prove that someone was in the room with Jamie.
No noise, no movement, just laying there, dead.
I might also be the last person to talk with her before she jumped. This son of a bitch, Craig.
Always fucking Craig, though, isn't it?
Hold the phone here.
Look at this slick asshole.
Immediately makes him guilty. You seem to be very protective of Johnny.
Well, of course. He's my boyfriend, and I'd do anything for him.
She'd kill me if she ever found out I was cheating on her. Oh, we lost Rich.
All of a sudden you see like her shoe.
I bet it got thrown down. Not there, not there, not there, not there. And then someone threw it down.
Great work.
Yeah!
You proved Jamie was not alone. Oh my God, and we are back.
We are back.
Can you believe it? Thank you very much to Billy D for putting that video together. Unbelievable. Check out Billy D. He and Jason Rossi do the Pop Culture Pile Driver podcast, where they talk a lot of wrestling, but also other things as well. So thanks so much for Billy D for putting that together. We are back for part 2, maybe the final chapter. I don't know how long this is going to take. My name is Rich Keefe, and joined, as always, by Ryan Davey, in addition to Ryan Davey and our #Dork attorney, Nicole. Guys, how are you?
I'm so ready. The team Ryan, we've separated for the past hour just to get ourselves mentally ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't speak to each other because we were like, we need to be ready.
Yes.
In the zone.
So we need to be in the zone.
Yeah.
And you guys are ready.
She was doing her I will say, my wife was doing her makeup. She looks beautiful. And
Yes,
she was
she
basically
does.
told me not to talk to her while she was doing it because she was getting ready.
I was getting ready.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Nicole, how are you? How was this last week been?
It's been good. It's good.
Good.
I've changed location, so
Yes.
things are going well.
All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. So here's the deal. So that was a nice little 1-minute recap that we had, again, courtesy of Billy D. But for those just joining us, long story short is this. We are trying to solve the murder of Jamie Banks, who was a senior in high school back in 1992. She fell from the 6th floor room in her high school. It was eventually ruled a suicide, but we know that it is not a suicide.
Not a suicide.
The first objective was to prove that someone was in the room with Jamie, and we did so based on the photos of her on the ground, and somebody threw her shoe. Her shoe came off in the room, and so in a few of the shots, it was not there, and then suddenly it was there. So that's how we did that. So now we are on to objective 2. It is find the lying suspect. And again, we have 5 suspects. And again, we can go through any of the stuff that you guys want to as well, any of the previous documents, which I'm sure we're going to have to do. Our 5 suspects are Dr. Benjamin Gelding, Olivia Underwood, Sophie Sunday, Paul Preakness, and Johnny Rocca.
Fucking Johnny Rocca. Sorry for
Now,
swearing.
It's all right. Now, there are a few other characters who we met and we thought were a little shady, but they are not suspects. Mainly because we know that Jamie died during the time that the school was taking a photo.
Correct.
And these other weirdos like Craig and Joey and Robert, they were all in said photo. So these are our 5 suspects. The other thing I would like to tell you is at the end of part 1, we also we opened an envelope, and we have 2 more envelopes where that came from. Inside that envelope, we got some more documents that we will go over. One is a letter from Jamie's mother. One is her obituary from the newspaper, which also has a back, and the back, which we'll read it coming up, I feel like it's just nonsense, but again, you never know.
We're not going to throw it out.
You never know.
No.
Another thing I would want to point out is there was one document that we did not get to last time, and that was the case closure. Here, as I pull it up.
Oh,
You're watching this on YouTube. There was a case closure document, and what do you think? Should we just dive into this?
Yeah, let's look at it. Yep.
All right. So this is to Detective Aaron Bennett. This came in December. Again, she died at the end of November. I think it was November 20th, if I remember correctly. Now December 10th, from Detective Roland Sherman. And again, it says suicide investigation of Jamie Banks, East Verona High School, Verona, Mass. Facts of the case.
All right.
And remember that our objective here is to find the lying suspect. On Friday, November 20th at 10:19 a.m., Stu Collier called the Verona Police Department to report a suicide that had taken place at East Verona High School. First responders arrived at the scene within 6 minutes of receiving the call. By that time, there was a crowd of teachers surrounding the victim's body. The victim was deceased before the first responders arrived. The victim fell from the 6th floor window in the school's newspaper room. The victim typed a suicide note onto a computer in the room she jumped from. The victim had previous suicidal thoughts and received treatment from a school counselor for bipolar tendencies. The victim received a very negative review of her theater performance in the school newspaper that morning. Do you guys remember her having suicidal thoughts?
I think that the school guidance counselor, remember we talked about that at length when he basically diagnosed her and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And said we were handling it in-house.
Yeah,
he
Gelding
said
kept saying,
suicidal ideation.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, ideation was the word that I mispronounced.
Yes. And I yelled at you.
You were all around. Yeah, you were all around it.
I was all around it. I was there.
The significant evidence, a school photo. An all-school photo was taken at the same time that the victim fell. It was immediately developed and includes all but 5 students and staff. All 5 of those individuals were thoroughly interrogated about their whereabouts. B, the Verona Voice. The school newspaper cover story was extremely critical of the victim's performance in the school play. A typed suicide note. Forensics discovered a suicide note typed onto a computer screen in the room the victim jumped from. The note indicates she was feeling overwhelmed with the pressure in her life. D, victim's clothing has been fully investigated by the microscope lab and nothing unusual found. No signs of a struggle or foul play. E, the coroner's report, no evidence of foul play, looks like suicide. 3, witness statements. A, Robert Romero discovered the body, heard screaming and a thud, and arrived at the victim within 10 to 15 seconds. Dr. Benjamin Gelding, experienced guidance counselor, worked with victim and indicates past history of bipolar disorder and suicidal ideations.
There it is.
Ideations.
Yeah.
C, several other witness statements were obtained from friends and faculty confirming the distraught mentality of the victim at the time. 4, conclusion. Since we find no evidence of foul play, we believe Jamie Banks committed suicide by jumping out of the window on her own accord. She was not under the influence of any alcohol, drug, or other narcotic. She was distraught over a poor acting performance and has a history of bipolar disorder and suicidal ideations. 5, recommendation, no charges filed. Close case.
Is it legal for a school guidance counselor who is not a licensed therapist or psychotherapist to diagnose somebody with a disease?
Well,
I don't think so.
I think we talked about this last time. Like
Right.
he's licensed, but typically in a school they won't diagnose. We would
You can go outside
recommend
for
like, oh, you go outside and come back and then we'll
Okay.
treat under that. Just from my experience working in a school.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely seems shady because nobody else talks really about that at any point. It's just like a gelding thing. Now, there's also the idea that Jamie is maybe has a secret relationship, right?
Right.
It's been hinted at several
Yeah.
times.
right.
Yeah. And also just to recap, again, the 5 suspects, Olivia was her understudy in the play. Sophie, what's the relationship with Sophie? Sophie's going out with Johnny Rocca. And
Yes.
Jamie and Johnny went out at one point.
Right.
Gelding's obviously her guidance counselor. And then Paul Preakness is the dude in the play, right? That puts on the play.
Yes.
Creepy.
Who
teacher.
we
Who
cannot account
loves
for
the
him.
ladies. Or no, the ladies
Mhm.
love him.
Ladies
or whatever,
love him.
however they phrase that.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
he is unaccounted for from before the pep rally until after Jamie's found.
Mm.
Yes.
Which one? Preakness?
Preakness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't find out about, in one of his statements, he does not find out about her death until someone comes. I don't think what's the kid's name who's in the play?
Romero.
Romero comes
Robert
by
Romero.
and tells him about it.
Mm-hmm. Is there any documents you guys would like to review, or should we just get to the new ones first?
I'm looking at this right now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Didn't Romero, he was the first one to find the body, right?
Yes, I believe he was. Yes.
And then he said that he ran right from there to the pep rally.
Yes.
Yes.
But Preakness said that Romero came and told him.
Well, no, wasn't Johnny? Was it Romero? And then
Wait, now I'm confused.
no, Johnny Rock is the first one that went to.
Oh boy,
like
we're swimming in it.
I think that both guys went to the pep rally,
Okay.
Wait,
right? So
The
Johnny
guy-
Rock left the
Sorry.
bathroom and went straight to the pep rally. He never
Yes.
came out to the body.
No.
And then Romero was the first one at the body and
Right.
went. Right.
yes.
Hmm.
But we see him. No, we cleared Romero in our mind because he was there when the shoe got
was in the
thrown
picture.
down.
And he's
Right.
in this picture
He's in
here,
the
which
picture.
is the school photo, which is at the time.
No, he wasn't in it.
I'm sorry, he wasn't in it.
No,
right.
but-
Right.
But he was in the photo when the shoe came flying down.
Yes.
No, it's just
No,
before.
right after.
Yeah, he's the first to see her, so there's no way in hell he was on the 6th floor.
So I guess
Right.
the
He couldn't
main,
have gotten from the 6th floor down to her.
I would say open. Yeah, like the second objective, find the liar.
Find the
So-
liar. But we do have 2 new pieces of information
Right.
that
so
we opened the envelope with.
Let's
get
see
to
it.
those.
I'm dying
all
to
right.
get to that.
All right. So the first things first is we have a letter to the National Foundation for Suicide Prevention written by Jamie Banks's mother. Ryan, would you care to read?
Sure. To the investigators responsible for reopening my daughter's case. First off,
Us. That's us, by the way.
That's us, by the way.
That's us.
That's as Magnum RY.
I like
my
that.
wife
The
calls me.
PI.
Yeah.
That's much more comfortable than this tie. I should have.
Oh, I feel great. I feel it's breezy. I got a little fan behind me. I can feel
Damn
it.
it all
coming.
to hell.
First off, I'm so grateful for your efforts in reopening Jamie's case. It means the world to me, especially now. You see, my husband just passed away last month. And he went to his grave. Only child may very well have committed suicide. Deep down, we had trouble wrapping our heads around both the police findings and what Dr. Gelding revealed in her mental state. We didn't even know she'd sought counseling.
Huh.
This just wasn't our Jamie. My husband loved her more than life itself, and the idea of Jamie taking her own life forever killed his spirit. But I take comfort in thinking that he now knows the truth, and I can't tell you the tears of joy as well as sorrow it brings me to know that they are together again. Through God's grace, I hope to one day be united with them both. Oh, wait. So many people were torn up by her death. At the gravesite just after her burial, I remember Paul Preakness falling to his knees and crying like a baby.
Oh
It broke
boy.
my heart. I didn't know what else to do but go over and hug him. He seemed like he wanted to tell me something that day, but he couldn't. And I never saw him again.
Oh boy.
I knew he meant a lot to Jamie, but I had no idea how attached he'd also been to her. I see some of her old classmates from time to time, and it tears open wounds that have never healed. After he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in Canton last week, hold on. Oh, this must be much later. Oh yeah, because Johnny Rocket came back to town with Sophie and their children. So
Oh
they're-
wow. Oh wow.
Hmm.
Well, yeah,
Our
because
Randy
This is
just-
a
well,
lot.
think about
This
it.
is a
Well, yeah.
lot later. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is now.
This is
This
They
is
just
now.
reopened the case.
So
Yeah.
Johnny Rocket is now a Hall of Fame football player?
Apparently.
Yes. Yeah,
Jesus.
and he and Sophia, so high school sweetheart. There you
Yep.
go.
I ran into them all at the park while we were while walking the dog. Johnny Jr. had to help me to the bench because out of nowhere I broke down thinking about what Jamie's children might have been like. The hurt never goes
Oh
away.
my goodness.
Jamie's
gracious.
dad and I saw Olivia Underwood in an interview just a few weeks before he passed. She's a big Hollywood star now and was gushing about her first big break in a high school production of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my God.
Fuck. So many years have passed, but it still ripped us apart. We sobbed in each other's arms till we fell asleep that night. I beg you, please do not give up your efforts until justice is served. I included her obituary notice to remind you of the amazing young woman behind this unsolved case file. Our beautiful daughter is gone from this world forever, but her killer is still out there. Please don't give up until you solve the case. From the very bottom of my heart, Linda Banks. We shall not. We will not.
Doing it for you, Linda.
Yep.
So clearly there was something there with her and Paul Preakness. Right? Maybe she went out with Paul Preakness. I don't know.
Paul Preakness took this pretty, but he's also the drama guy. So he also puts
is the
on
drama
a
guy,
act,
but this is also 20-something years ago, and he still broke down.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some of the other new documents, we had the obituary in the newspaper.
Died unexpectedly at East Verona High School Friday morning, November 20th, 1992, at the age of 18. She was the only child of Andy and Linda Banks of Verona, Mass. Jamie was a senior at East Verona High, as well as a sweet, beautiful, kind young woman who will be missed by many. She was an investigative reporter for her high school newspaper, The Voice, and also a very talented actress, winning the role of Juliet in the East Verona High School's production of Romeo and Juliet, which opened the night just before she died.
Right.
Her funeral service will be held on Thursday morning at St. Joseph's Church, 17 Squire Street, Verona, Mass. at 10 a.m., followed by a rite of committal at the Capulet. Jesus Christ, we're on the nose of the Capulet Cemetery in East Verona. In lieu of flowers, please consider donating to the Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
So it doesn't seem to really be anything in there, right?
Nothing really there. No.
Nothing really.
The mom's thing would make me think Gelding is lying.
Because he wasn't. Was he,
because
Yeah.
your minor child can't go
Well,
to someone without you signing off on it.
she was 18.
Yeah, but not at the time. He had said for years, right?
Yeah, let me see. I'm going to look at his, while you go through this, I'm going to look at his old witness statement or his interview.
Dr. Gelding, so this is from the mother. Dr. Gelding revealed about her mental state. We didn't even know she sought counseling. This just wasn't our Jamie. Blah, 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 blah. Also, I'm just going to throw this in here because I feel like it could be nothing, but why else would they put it in here? It's a little newspaper cutout of Jamie's obituary. So this is the back of that. And so it just says something. It says happened last week, and it's the end of a sentence. Happened last week, just before school began early Friday morning. His wife of 44 years, Mrs. Bertha Sampson, said she and her husband are eternally grateful for Dakota taking the time to learn CPR. I'd be a widow today if it weren't for his knowledge of what to do in such a situation. Along with the Lifesaver Award plaque, he was also awarded a $500 scholarship toward the college of his choice from the East Verona Volunteer Ambulance Association. And then it says, Verona Cineplex raffling a year of free movies at Aladdin premiere today. To celebrate the opening of Disney's latest animated tale that's sure to become an instant classic, the Verona Cineplex will be holding a raffle to win a year's worth of free movie tickets. Everyone who buys a ticket to see Aladdin at the premiere today, November 25th, will be entered into a drawing where one lucky winner will be chosen at random to receive 52 movie tickets to use throughout 1993. According to Verona Cineplex marketing director Jessica Stason, we've been an integral part of this community for over 30 years and are looking forward to entertaining you for many more years to come. You ain't never had a friend like us. That seems like nothing.
Nonsense.
Right?
Yeah.
It seems like nothing.
Yeah.
All right, David, what are you looking at? Are you going back to Gelding here?
So Gelding in his witness statement form says Jamie had been struggling with bipolar tendencies for years.
Right.
Okay.
Jamie has been meeting with me every few months over the past 2 years for manic depression. She was originally referred to me for this issue after she broke down in tears during a vocabulary quiz. And the parents know nothing. So like you said, 2 years ago, she was 16, right?
Right.
So there's no way that the parents wouldn't have known about this.
I do feel like Gelding.
I'm sorry.
is a
Tyler
good-
just asked when the CPR thing was in the last thing. Was it the same day as the murder? Sorry.
This says
Friday. Oh, yeah. Just before school began early Friday morning. So it was that day. So maybe it does have something to do with that. I don't know. Okay.
what
Sorry.
else today? Interesting. Maybe.
Do you have a certificate?
My
You don't have donkey brains?
I feel like when we were doing this before, it felt like Gelding or Preakness was likely lying anyway. I didn't know for sure. I didn't know why, but that was
Right.
sort of my feeling.
But who would have referred
Right.
the child to a
teacher?
guidance counselor? A teacher?
A teacher could have, but right.
But again, like you said, she was 16, so like the parents would have been notified.
Right. So, like a teacher would have said, "Hey, Jamie seems really out of sorts, so we referred her to the guidance counselor. Like, if you have any questions, da da da." And
Go
then
back to. Can you go back to the mom's letter? Can you go back to Linda's letter
Yep.
and go to the passed away? Go down to where she said she was. Go up with the counseling thing.
Yep. You see, my husband just passed away last month, and he went to his grave thinking his only child may have very well committed suicide. Deep down,
Yep.
we had trouble wrapping our heads around both the police findings and what Dr. Gelding revealed about her mental state. We didn't even know she sought counseling.
So he said she was referred. Gelding told them that she sought counseling.
Did he say that in
He
the
said-
witness statement?
He said she was referred.
Yeah, I've been Jamie's guidance counselor for 4 years. He's from high school. Okay.
So he's lying. He's the liar.
Wait, somebody in the comment said something.
Okay.
For Nelia said, let's go back and check this, that Ferrari said he got a pass from Geldman, but Geldman said he didn't have his passes that day.
Oh.
That's right. He left him in the room, right?
The night
From the night
before,
before.
right?
So but we already nailed him as the liar. So that guy's lying.
Ferrari. I have a pass from Dr. Gelding to finish up an article or work on clip art or whatever.
Oh, good job.
Wow.
Say that name.
Wow. I hope
Nelia?
you're not cheating. I hope you're not cheating. We don't need spoilers. If
That's
not, I give you a lot of credit for that because that was pretty good.
That was a
I'm-
good memory because I
But
forgot
yeah,
that
'cause
Ferrari
no,
said-
I remember looking in the picture if we could see his passes, but like you couldn't.
All
So
right,
is that why he's lying, or is it because
I mean, either way, it's him, right?
Dr. Gelding?
Yeah.
Do we think it's Gelding or do we think it's Preakness?
I think it's Gelding.
Well,
I'm not-
What would make you think
Yeah.
Preakness?
Well,
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not.
No, like I'm not saying Gelding did the murder, but he's definitely the one lying.
But he's a liar.
Gelding definitely said he didn't have passes, and that's why he walked the kid back to the class and then went into the classroom because the kids were like, "Look at what we're doing."
So is then Ferrari lying or is he lying?
exactly, right? So who, like, we probably have to go through a little bit more methodically before and figure out, like, and compare some statements.
So let's look at what Ferrari said. Here's Joey Ferrari's thing.
All right.
So
Joey-
what just so what? How many statements do we have from Joey Ferrari? Just the one?
We have the witness statement.
We have a witness statement, and it's 2 pages here.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
never interrogated.
So if we
But
want
he
to redo Joey, so yeah, Joey is not a suspect.
No, because he was in the picture.
So all we
wasn't-
have from him is the witness statement. There's no person of interest
Correct.
and there's no
No.
interrogation. Okay.
No, right. There's also no witness statement from Paul Preakness, but there is an interrogation and a person of interest, a POI.
Okay.
So, do we want to go back to Paul Preakness in his interrogation, or do we want to
Well,
go to Gelding's?
Let's read
I'm
Jamie
looking at
Ferrari's
Ferrari.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ferrari. All right, here we go. One of you guys read this one. I have it on the screen here, so just for the people listening.
Somebody go ahead.
Mrs.
Go
Davey.
ahead, Rye.
Okay. All right. As far as I know, I was the last one in the school newspaper room before Jamie Banks jumped out of the window today. It was first period, and I had study hall in the cafeteria. Mr. Griffin is my teacher there, and he lets me go up to the newspaper room. I have a pass from Dr. Gelding to finish up an article or work on clip art or whatever. I signed out of study hall as soon as it started and was in the newspaper room within probably 4 to 5 minutes after the start of first period. When I got there, the door was locked and the lights were out. Since I'm a senior on the newspaper staff, I have a key to the room, so I let myself in and the door shut and automatically locked behind me. I always work on the computer that's on the right side of the room, second from the back. So that's the one I got onto. It took a few minutes to boot up, but pretty soon I was logged in and working on my outline for the story about the game tonight. You never know how a game will unfold, but when it comes to Spartan football, I usually have a pretty good idea about the outcome before the game even starts. So I write my articles beforehand, and then after the game, I plug in a few game stats, and I'm good to go. That room gets pretty hot at that time of day. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sun, or maybe the heat's broken or something, but I open the window to let some cool air in. I lost track of time, and suddenly it was 8:50. So I think that's important, and I only had 5 minutes to sign back into study hall, so I saved my outline on a floppy, but didn't shut down the computer. I was in a rush, but I'm positive I turned off the light and shut the door behind me. I think I left the window open. When I was a sophomore, someone propped open the door once and some jerks vandalized a bunch of equipment, so Mr. Gelding is really strict about locking the door behind us ever since. I barely got back to study hall on time and was in Italian class until the pep rally, so I'm not sure when Jamie went in the newspaper room. Jamie and I both wrote for the school newspaper, and I've known her since 8th grade, but we weren't super close outside of that. I know she asked Gelding to be the editor this year, but for some reason he chose Craig instead of either of us. Finally, I'd like to go on the record with my prediction for the game tonight. I'm not going to read that.
Yeah, it's not what this is about, sir. So Jordan in the chat says Mr. Griffin wouldn't have let him go if he didn't have a pass. Meaning, then he wouldn't.
But
it's not like, hey, I can go if I have my pass. Obviously, he had to have his pass because he's making it sure that Mr. Griffin couldn't. So going back to Gelding, would it be in his witness statement or his interrogation that he said that?
I'm looking at his witness statement right now.
I think it was in his interrogation. I'm going to look.
But let's check his witness statement first.
All right, here is Dr. Gelding's witness statement.
So according to the witness statement, I have, as much as I don't like this Ferrari kid, I don't think he lied. But
right,
you have so in the morning, he never sees Gelding.
Right.
But Gelding says he saw him.
Okay.
Well, so let's go through Gelding's witness statement then.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's very difficult to put thoughtful words together right now, but I fully understand the need for an investigation into what could cause such a seemingly normal young woman to take her own life. I've been Jamie's guidance counselor for 4 years here at East Verona High School. I also help run the school's newspaper that she writes for. Jamie is an amazing girl who gets good grades, stays out of trouble, and seems to get along with everyone. I took my wife and kids to see her performance last night, and she was incredible. It really begs the question as to why a young girl who appeared to have everything going for her would do something like this. Well, I'm not sure, but everything is not what it seems with Jamie for 2 reasons you should be aware of. First, Jamie had been struggling with bipolar tendencies for years. Jamie had been meeting with me every few months over the past 2 years for manic depression. She was originally referred to me for this issue after she broke down in tears during a vocabulary quiz. During her dark times, she expressed suicidal ideations to me on a number of occasions, including thoughts about how she would do it. I should have referred her to outside counseling. I just thought we had it under control. I could not have been more wrong. Second, Jamie was involved in a secret, forbidden relationship. Jamie told me one of the reasons Mr. Preakness gave her the part of Juliet was because she told him she was presently in a forbidden relationship, and it helped her relate to the character.
Well, so let's just stop right there for a second. So that doesn't necessarily rule out Preakness of being like in a relationship with her, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
She told me she had to keep this relationship a secret a lot of people would get hurt. Jamie was an investigative reporter and very sharp, so I doubt we'll ever know who it was. I talked to Craig Zimmerman this morning. He's the young man who wrote the negative review about her performance. Turns out he asked her to be his girlfriend on Tuesday, and she told him she didn't have feelings for him like that. I guess that review is his way of working through rejection. You might consider talking to Johnny Rocca. I believe they dated for a short time a few years ago. He's with Coach's daughter now. I asked everyone who works at the school paper, and Joey Ferrari was the last person in the newspaper room before Jamie. He might have some clues about the room that would be helpful. I also encourage you to speak with Mr. Preakness. He gets very close with his students, especially female leads in his plays, although we never had any official incidents regarding that issue here at school. My hope is that we can address the issue completely and swiftly to help bring closure to the 315 East Verona students, blah, blah, blah.
So here's the thing. All right. So Gelding, remember said he never saw Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. He was actually with Craig Zimmerman prior, and Zimmerman was the kid he walked back to class, not Ferrari.
Right. So, and then I went back to look at
whose class did it? Because we know that Joey Ferrari went back to Griffin's classroom, correct?
Yes.
Whose class did Gelding walk Craig Zimmerman back to?
So
I'm looking at it right now.
I was going to say, I'm in interrogation
of
Gelding. And he said, I left my passes in the newspaper room. Why did you leave them there? It was an accident. So then he walked Zimmerman back. I didn't pick them up. So he didn't have the passes all that day.
But Ferrari has a key to the room, and Gelding said he left the passes in the room.
Right.
So and Ferrari could have just grabbed it.
And Ferrari had to have had a pass, so he forged a pass.
Yeah.
Whether or not,
did Ferrari get a pass the night before? Like when Ferrari doesn't say when he got the pass, right?
But it would have been in the morning because
probably did get it from Gelding, and Gelding saying he didn't. Right? Isn't that it?
So Gelding is saying, I left my pad of hall passes in there last night. I didn't pick them up this morning, and the police haven't let me back in the room to get them. We had our weekly meeting after school yesterday. That's when the students pitched their stories for next week, and I write the assignments on the chalkboard. I brought my pad to write passes for anyone who wants to get out of study hall to work on articles. Like Ferrari. Yeah. And I left the passes in the room by accident. Jamie could have let anyone in the room, though, since she had a key.
So that seems to confirm Ferrari's story. If Ferrari was in the newspaper the night before,
he could have written them. Yeah.
He could have written them the pass the night before because to get out of study hall to work on articles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as Steve says, do passes hold over the next day?
If it's first period, yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, I guess in his interrogation, he does pretty clearly say, like, I brought my pet to write passes for it. He doesn't say, but then he goes, like Ferrari, and then he goes, yeah.
Right, and then somebody points out, but he just said Ferrari was the last one to be in the room with Jamie, so he, like, maybe knew that would be in their first period anyway.
I don't know. I feel like, is that enough to make Gelding the liar? That's all we need. So. All we need right now is a liar. So did he lie about giving Joey Ferrari a pass? That's what we need.
No, but he lied about something else. What was it? What were we talking about before?
Well, treating Jamie?
Yeah. He said she was referred to him and then said that she sought him out.
But but he didn't say. He just said she was referred to him after she sucked at a vocab quiz or whatever.
Right. And he also said that she came to him on her own. Like she sought him out.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, Jamie's mom, all Jamie's mom said.
Oh, that's Jamie's mom. Yeah, she didn't know.
No. Jamie's mom said that I didn't know that any of this was going on. But that doesn't mean he's a liar. Shoot.
Mm.
I think that
No, we don't have a picture of the past.
No.
There's
What I'm sticking on too is like, yeah, she was referred. She could have been referred by the vocab teacher, but there's no way that would have happened 2 years ago and her parents not known.
right.
I agree with that, but I just wonder if that's really enough, if that's the answer, or if it's like more like spelled out for us.
Yeah, I think that might be. I mean, I my guess would be that it's like
That's like a
somewhere
real,
in-
like, again, that's sort of the separation of, again, we're treating this as real life, but this is also a game. And so, like, if it was real life, I think we really have something. No, but think about it. Like, how we solved the first objective was like right in our face. It was a picture of a shoe, not a picture of a shoe. And like, that was the answer. This is more like, well, in reality, the mom would know. But like, I don't know, maybe she just kept it under wraps, and maybe she was referred by somebody else and they just kind of did that thing. Now, I do think it's shady that he's the only one that's talked about this bipolar thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that seems off.
And nobody
else felt that way about her.
And everyone's confused as to why she would have done this.
Right.
Except him.
Did Preakness say
Correct.
he paid her back?
Yes, he gave her the $100 bill.
Okay.
Can we keep going on his statement? Whose statement, Andrew?
Yeah, whose statement do you want to read?
The
Gelding's?
interrogation or the witness?
Yeah, here's more of Gelding's interrogation. Do you want to read? Do we want to play this one out again? Gelding and detective.
No, I think let's.
So this is the middle of it, but we already sort of read the first part. So Ryan, you play Benjamin Gelding. I'll play the detective. No, Ryan, Mrs. Ryan.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the real talent. Look at the real talent.
Exactly. Come on, give me the real voiceover talent. I don't want you. Here we go.
All right. No, I had a session with Craig Zimmerman before the pep rally regarding the awful review he wrote about Jamie. I sensed hidden tension when I needed to resolve. Seems he'd opened up to her about his amorous feelings on Tuesday, and she didn't feel the same. I believe he wrote that review with a broken heart. We talked to my office second period and made a plan for him to resolve the situation. We were near done the end of second period.
Near the end of second period? Can you be more specific?
Well, yes, actually, I can. Since I didn't have any passes, I had to walk him back to class. I probably got him there around 10 minutes before the bell.
Around?
Yes, I wanted to get back to my office, but the students in his class were really excited to show me what they were working on and begged me to come in and have a look. After I'd seen everything, the bell rang. The students went to the pep rally, and I returned to my office.
So you chose paperwork over a state championship pep rally? Odd choice.
I had letters of recommendation to submit before the weekend and wanted to leave early for the game. I was in my office until I heard the sirens, and then I went to the gym.
Dr. Gelding, do you really believe Jamie Banks did this to herself?
Sadly, I do. She was hiding a lot. Jamie struggled with bipolar tendencies for years. She'd been meeting with me every few months over the past couple of years for counseling. She confided in me that she'd thought about killing herself. I should have referred her to outside counseling, but I just thought I had it under control.
She was about to publish an expose in the paper. What was it about?
She wouldn't tell me. Do you know?
We're not sure. We think it was all about sports betting.
Well, that would explain her secrecy. I probably shouldn't say this, but Joey takes all the bets in the school. He's known as the school bookie. Everyone knows, but we kind of look the other way.
Don't you think it's suspicious for an investigative reporter to turn up dead just before publishing a big expose?
I guess, but I also know about her bipolar disorder, so I don't have any doubt it was suicide. When you spend as many years as I have watching teenagers make one impulsive decision after the next, you realize sometimes nothing they do makes sense. Is this all you guys have? If there's no more, please let me help sort it out.
I appreciate your offer to lend a hand, Dr. Gelding, but at this point, I think we're done here. If you don't have anything else to add, we can let you go.
I understand. Well, please do reach out to me if I can be of any help.
I will certainly do that. Thank you for your time, Dr. Gelding. Now, the part at the beginning, he once again says, I didn't have any passes. I had to walk him back to class talking about Zimmerman, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So I probably got him there around 10 minutes before the bell. Now, 10 minutes, as I think Jordan pointed out in the chat, 10 minutes, you can run up there and push her, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 10 minutes to push her, even if the student alibi checks out.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
then
he's
go-
not seen
and then-
again until the sirens, which
Yeah.
are 6 minutes
Mhm.
after
Okay.
the call's
but
made.
how can we prove he's lying? How can we prove who's lying?
So is it not the passes? Like, is it?
No.
He said.
I don't
You
think
don't
it
think
is
so?
the passes
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I think it's the passes.
Because
And
Joey.
how?
Well, I think it's as simple as Gelding says I didn't have my passes, and Joey said I got my pass from Gelding, right?
Yeah.
But he
Right, but
said that he
Joey
left him
doesn't
there the
say-
night before.
But Gelding says last night that he had a meeting with the students last night,
To get
And
them out
then-
of study hall.
and that he had his passes with him because he sometimes writes passes to get them out of study hall, which is exactly what the one in the morning said he did.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that. So who's the lying suspect? Now, again, I feel like because we got new information, and the new information was
That they
Jamie's
didn't know.
mom's
Yeah.
letter,
hmm
that has to be something. Like, they wouldn't. I don't think you could solve the second objective without the second bit
No,
of information, right?
and it states clearly that they had no idea that she was in counseling,
Yeah.
Right.
and for 2 years.
But is that enough? Because couldn't she hide? Could she hide that? Because if you're the school counselor, can't you still talk to your students? Does the student need to tell their parents everything that's going on?
Yes, in this case.
If they're
Yeah.
If an adult is seeing them you have to get. There's IEPs and 504s. You can't just do things willy-nilly.
I feel like if that was it, we would have to know that there was some sort of requirement that that the parents be told.
I kind of with you on that. I feel like in real
Like, I feel
world life that makes sense, but in the game I feel like it would be a little bit more clear.
Well, I was going to say, Eric made a good point saying we have to prove the lying suspect, and Ferrari is not a suspect.
Right. The question is Gelding lying about?
Right, but I'm just saying, so we can definitely say it's not Ferrari with the passes.
Well, no, but if Ferrari's telling the truth, then Gelding could be lying that
Right.
he didn't have him with him.
Right.
It's a stupid lie, but that's all we need is a lie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be something else. Maybe it does.
or are we just overthinking it?
I just feel like
I don't know where the lie is. Like, I don't like if Gelding's like, I brought the passes to a meeting the night before to get them out of study hall, and the kid's like, yeah, I had a pass to get out of study hall the next morning. That seems consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The chat seems to think it's the passes.
It's not though.
I feel like okay,
it is.
someone in the chat, if you really think it's the passes, explain how do we have hard evidence of the passes being the lie?
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I was started when we were doing this. I was looking at the picture of the room, and like, if Ferrari,
room?
for the newsroom, and Ferrari says he was the last one in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, do you see passes in there?
That's what I was gonna say. Do we see
Right.
what is that thing on the desk? Like, I can't really see, but like, what is like right on the front left on the desk, like right in front of the first computer? Like, are those a stack of passes? Right there. See them?
Uh,
I mean, who knows?
Those. Yeah.
I
those
see 'em.
passes. Oh, interesting. Son of a biscuit.
Right.
Let's see. All right, what's Jordan saying here? He wants to see the Preakness statements again, maybe.
I do too.
All right, let's go to. Do you want? Well, so Preakness just has an interrogation. He does not have a witness statement.
Because he wasn't there. Yeah, he just He's the
let's
only
do-
one that was like
Okay, well,
completely
what? Actually,
unaccounted
no,
for.
Before we go to his, let's go to because so Romeo, right?
Romero
says
who played
that
Romeo. Very
who
convenient.
played Romeo is the first one to find her
Yep.
Mhm.
and is the one that
Correct.
tells Mr. Preakness. So let's see what he says.
Who?
Romero.
Romero?
So Romero has a witness statement.
And
here.
while you do that, I'll look at Preakness's interrogation.
All right, so Romero says, I was the first one to find Jamie's body. Seeing her lying there was a horrible experience. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I'm still really shaken up about the whole thing. I was in the first floor bathroom and lost track of time because I kept reading Craig's review over and over again. Best review I've ever gotten. But then I realized I was late for the pep rally, so I was rushing to wash my hands and leave when I heard her. It was about 10 minutes after the bell rang for third period, so it was probably around 10:10 a.m. It was a weird sound. I heard a woman scream and then something hitting the ground really hard. The noise came from right outside of the bathroom, so I rushed out the door and around the corner to get to the exit to help. I got there pretty quick before anyone else. I kneeled down beside Jamie. It was a surreal moment since it was exactly like we had rehearsed so many times in Act 5, Scene 3. Only this time, we weren't acting. She was perfectly motionless. No noise, no movement, just lying there, dead. It took me a moment to realize I needed to get help, and everybody was in the gym, so I ran over there and got Mrs. Dowling and a bunch of other teachers and brought them back to her. I can understand why she might lose it with all the pressure she was under. She was playing the lead female in the school play, and that's more than enough pressure for one person. You can take my words for that. The amount of work and time you have to put into theater is incredible. The night before the opening performance, Jamie was up until midnight working on the sunset on our set background. I think she even used her own money to buy paint because I heard Mr. Preakness say something about, quote, paying her back. She was also writing for the newspaper and had a big expose coming up that people were talking about. Everybody's trying to guess who it was about. I don't think they will cancel Saturday's performance because I have an incredible chemistry with Jamie's understudy. Olivia and I have like a cosmic connection, and you could feel it when we rehearse. Mr. Preakness knows I wanted Olivia to be my Juliet, but he did not take kindly to my creative input on the matter. I believe we should probably donate a portion of the proceeds from Saturday's performance to Jamie's family, or maybe the suicide hotline or something. As the lead male for the production, it's my responsibility to take charge on initiatives like that, so I'm going to ask Mr. Preakness if he can do it.
So Romero says he saw the body, and then where did he go?
To the pep rally.
He went right to the pep rally. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Preakness says in his thing,
Or wait,
well, I was by myself.
Which Preakness thing are you pulling up?
The interrogation.
In the
All
internet.
right, Rich, pull that up.
Yep.
And I'm in the middle of the first page. He says, well, I was by myself. All the students were at the rally. I didn't hear about what happened until Robert Romero came by. And then there's a long silence.
Oh.
And he says, Mr. Preakness, you were saying is, yeah, Robert came by and told me she had jumped. It was such a shock. Okay, Mr. Preakness, so you were at the auditorium the whole time fixing the balcony from the Romeo and Juliet, blah, blah, blah. What was wrong with it? So he was in a completely other room. So he's saying that
Robert
Romero
stopped?
went to it, or like he went from the body, and we can time it, right?
Mhm.
Well,
Like he
let me
didn't,
ask
he
you
didn't have
this.
time to go anywhere else.
But in Robert's statement, he says he went and saw Mrs. Dowling and other teachers.
Right, but he
What?
said he
But at the pep rally, not in the
said he
auditorium.
ran to the pep rally.
Okay.
So Preakness is saying that that Robert told him, but he didn't.
Shit. Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, Robert doesn't. I think
They don't
Robert doesn't
say
say
when. Yeah.
right. They don't say when. So Robert could have gone to the auditorium, the pep rally, and then gone to find Paul Preakness at some point during the day.
I don't know. That doesn't
no.
make sense though, because because Gelding says he heard sirens, so he went. And that was 6 minutes. So
6
Robert
minutes from the call.
ran.
Yeah.
Robert ran to the gym and then what?
Ran to the auditorium.
Ran to the auditorium and in that time, the 6 minute window, because they were pretty specific about 6 minutes
Yeah, good point.
that it
That's a good
took
point.
for the emergencies like services to come.
And
From the
there is a
call.
long silence until,
Yeah, right.
until Robert Romero came by, and then they note that there
Yeah,
was a
Robert
long
came by and
silence.
told me she had just jumped. It was a shock. Okay, Mr. Preakness, auditorium, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's so because where did he say he was? He
In
was
the auditorium.
In the auditorium.
In the auditorium.
Okay.
Wait, so somebody said that I don't think it's supposed to be this intense of a puzzle, and then we're making it too complicated. I don't know if I disagree given the shoe thing.
Well, no, but this is wait. So to which point are you saying it's not that elaborate? Because I feel like this lying, this where he was, kind of makes sense. Like, all right, so some people still think it's the passes, Dr. Gelding's passes, but this could also be because if Paul Preakness says that
I'm
he
still
was
on the. I'm still on him, like not the parents not knowing she was in because you. And again, the only reason I'm stuck on that is because that's new information, and that contradicts what Gelding said.
yeah. So Jordan's
But does
wondering
Gelding
if,
ever say he talked to her parents, or that
No.
that her
No.
parents were aware of it?
no.
Nope.
So that's not he's not lying. He might have been talking to her for a couple of years. Maybe she didn't tell anybody, and maybe he's just bad because he didn't go
Okay,
and tell
wait.
her.
Wait, I got it. Nope, because in Janice Dowling's thing,
Okay.
she says Robert Romero ran. So if you go to her witness statement,
Page 1 or 2.
page 1, Robert Romero came running into the gym screaming for help. So now he's in the gym. I asked Miss Hawkeye to watch over the students while Mr. Griffin, Mr. Collier, Mr. Carrier, whatever, and I ran out to see what happened. That's when I saw Jamie on the ground. Sophie Sunday and Olivia Underwood were near her body.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that everyone was kept, like she was pretty specific saying, keep everyone here. One person go look at the door, like go stand up on the 6th floor. So I don't think, like, unless Robert Romero went to see the other teacher, Mr. Preakness, first, there's no way.
So yeah,
Or
so you're
after.
saying Romero didn't tell Preakness. So Preakness obviously already knew that she jumped.
Yes, and
He
she
knew that
said,
Romero was the one that told everybody else, so he's stealing that and it's like,
Right.
yeah,
So he already knew.
ran outside, saw Jamie lying on the ground, and immediately ran to the gym to notify us.
So we're still getting in the chat.
No, I think,
Gelding lying about bipolar.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
no, I think they're lying, but I think you can definitively prove that Preakness lied in his.
He
Well,
did
that's a
lie,
good
'cause
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Jordan. I don't think we went through Robert Romero. Robert Romero never mentions Preakness.
No,
No, never.
Now there is a little bit of a cop out because he says he went to Dowling and other teachers.
but
but
the other teachers
I
who were
assume he
there
meant in that room.
in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
he
And Preakness wasn't there.
and Dowling's statement clearly says he ran here immediately.
And they kept everybody in the gym.
Now, what did I say last week? Preakness buttons all the way to the top. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
How could it not be this guy? So
I
are
think
we?
Preakness
are we
is lying.
confident in that?
Preakness is lying.
I'm not
Preakness is a
confident in
liar.
anything right now.
But don't
Okay.
you think Preakness is the liar?
You've been drinking
I-
wine all night. I don't know how much of a help you're going to be.
You know what? That's fair, Rich. I shouldn't have told you that, but yeah, that is fair. But let's look at the person of interest from Paul Preakness.
All right. In the chat right now, while we look up the POI on Paul Preakness, just simply type in Gelding or Preakness. And again,
Let's go by
Preakness-
vote. Yeah.
Gelding right now, we're saying because of the bipolar thing, maybe the passes, but I feel like we may have moved on the passes.
And like I was
And then
stuck on it.
Preakness, we're saying about who he heard it from and where and when. Right?
Yes. And
All right.
Gelding, I have a problem with because he never told the parents. That's not a lie. It's just scummy.
Yeah.
It's super. I agree. It's super scummy, and I also feel like because this is again, I hate to break the fourth wall. This is a game, and I feel like it'd be a little bit more on the nose than just what we're dealing. Like,
That's what I think too. I have a question. Does Preakness lie about when the set was broken?
He says it was after the play.
But he says in the person of interest statement, when Jamie jumped, I was in the auditorium fixing part of the Romeo and Juliet set. The balcony where Romeo calls up to Juliet had tipped over during our opening night performance, and the entire support structure collapsed.
In his interview, he said it broke when they were moving it after the play. So
Is
that's
that right?
why. Yeah.
So is it that simple?
It has to be.
Maybe. So maybe he's lying about the set
Being
also
broken. Yeah.
I mean, we just have to find a lie.
Okay, let me go to his interview because I'm positive he says it broke when they were moving it after the play was done.
Dude, we are torn. We are torn in the chat.
We are really torn. Oh,
Look at
I'm
this.
torn.
Look at this.
And I'm nervous that we're missing.
Preakness, gelding. Yes. Gelding, Preakness, gelding.
I think
Gelding,
I
Preakness,
think gelding is a liar.
Both.
But how do we know?
Liar,
See,
but Preakness
there I go.
statement.
Nicole's finishing the bottle. There we go.
So the thing is, how do we know? I mean, I'm just a little concerned that we haven't even looked at
Right
the
here.
other suspects yet.
Sophie, Olivia, and Johnny?
Correct.
I know, but I feel like there's already enough smoke with these two.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He
'Cause I
said they
feel
were
like the
moving it during intermission and it broke.
Okay.
That's what he said. And he said here.
During the opening night performance.
Yeah. So okay, that's fine.
Oh, that is fine.
Yes, Eric, going
Shit.
hard.
Damn it. I thought we had something there.
Shit.
No. It's in my
Galileo's right.
without a
Everyone's
doubt,
lying.
It is
Who can you prove?
right. It's Preakness.
I think it's Preakness.
Robert Romero clearly says
I never
I
saw
found
him.
her, never
Preakness.
mentioned him.
Romero saying,
Ooh,
I heard it.
boy.
He was washing a dish and he
I
heard
heard it. So he came out.
Mhm.
So are we confident in going with this?
I am.
I am.
All right.
Can we just look at? Can we make? All right. Can we go through all the evidence photos first and the stuff that we have just in case?
If we get it wrong, do we die? Like, can we not?
Yep. Podcast is over. We'll never record another episode. We'll never be friends again.
Well, it was nice knowing you all, Brian.
was a
I'm sorry
great
I have
one,
to divorce
everybody.
you if we were wrong about Preakness.
Please.
Sorry.
So what do you want? This is the evidence photos. There was the fake poison. There was that sweet pen. There was a $100 bill.
Stop
There was
hammer time.
Stop Hammer Time keychain. And then there was the notepad with all the betting. That's it for evidence photos.
Okay. And then what about the crime scene photos?
So you have there's 4 total. There's this one with Jamie without a shoe, which was a huge part of the first thing.
Yeah.
There's this one, which is just the open door to the Verona Voice newspaper room. It's just the open door. But then there's these two, which is the I zoomed way in. There's the room with the computers and the windows that's open, as we can see.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the suicide note, which just simply says the pressure was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. Goodbye, Jamie. On one of these sweet early 90s computers.
Digital.
Yeah, look at that bad boy.
My school didn't even have that. So
So, I mean, man. Because again, what do we think?
so
do we
I
think?
feel
Do we really think that the 2 new documents we got in envelope A would just be like to throw us off a little bit?
No, I
think it's gonna listen. I think it's gonna help in the long run.
Good point. We have 2 more
I
envelopes
agree.
after this.
I agree.
But
I don't.
the objective of like
The liar doesn't have to be
liar
from this.
doesn't have to be
right.
anything to do with that.
You're right. I agree with that. Son of a bitch.
God.
It's Preakness.
Okay. All right. You're screaming Preakness.
All right. I just think we should. I don't know. I mean, do you think we should kind of look at like any of the other people? Are you guys comfortable with just?
Well, the only thing it says, prove that someone lied. Preakness saying that Romero came and talked to him was a definite lie. That never happened.
But how
Yeah.
can you prove that?
Because of Janice
Because of
Dowling.
the timeline.
Dowling and Romero's statements say that he never talked to him.
And like Davey said, didn't she point out like, all right, everybody stay here?
Yeah, everyone. He came in and she put Hawkeye in charge, so no one's
Yeah.
getting out.
No one's getting out.
And
Hawkeye.
I also think it's worth noting that when he brought up Romero, there was a long silence.
Yeah.
That can't
He
be
was
nothing.
And he said he told me she jumped out of the window. How would Robert know that?
How would he know that?
Like, what if she fell? Like, he specifically said she jumped out of the window. He didn't see her jump. He found her on the ground.
He heard a scream and heard a thud. You put 2 and 2 together, but we're missing the point.
A metallic.
The point is, there's
Squink.
no timeline.
Like a thud.
There's no timeline where Preakness wouldn't have heard sirens and come out in the amount of time.
Yeah.
For Robert Romero to ever get to him to be like, oh yeah, you didn't hear sirens or people yelling or anything going on.
Someone yelled, "Dear God!"
Because Gelding said he heard sirens and came out.
I was spinning a dish.
What is our objective?
Find a liar.
Find the liar.
Find the lying suspect.
And it has to be a suspect.
Has to be a suspect.
And we only have 5 suspects.
And it's not Olivia Romero just lying about Johnny being in the bathroom with her?
Well,
No, because she eventually caved on that.
It's not the passes. If it's
Oh
the
my
passes,
God.
if
It might be the passes.
If it's the passes, I'm gonna feel like a real jackass.
I'm gonna shit in my hat. All right,
Everyone can just say you're an idiot.
let's do it. We're already an hour in, and we have 2 more envelopes. So
all right, let's go.
Okay.
Are we trying to get through all the envelopes tonight?
Oh yeah, we're cooking.
Okay,
What are you
all right,
doing?
well,
Yeah,
I
of
would
course we
have I would have paced myself, but okay.
well, that's on you. All right, I am going to the internet. Which suspect lied? Answer 3 questions to prove you know which of the 5 suspects lied about their whereabouts the day Jamie died.
Let's get it.
Okay.
Which suspect lied about where they were that day?
Preakness.
We're going with Paul Preakness.
Yes.
Check my answer.
I'm not.
If we're wrong, we just have to.
Oh,
figure
his
it out.
face. He's pissed. Look at.
It's not.
It's not him.
It's Olivia,
not.
isn't it? Was it Olivia?
No, it doesn't say. Thankfully, it doesn't say. I don't know who it is. It just says, sorry, but you might be focused on the wrong suspect.
Fucking! I knew it. I knew fucking Gelding. I knew it.
Are you sure it's not Olivia or Johnny Rocca?
I mean, you can try her name, right?
Well, no, I don't want to do it. We want to do it that way?
It can't be Rocca because we got him and the girlfriend in the bathroom. But
Wait,
she
but
would
at
lie
first
for
they
him. though.
lied about it.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it's not Preakness.
But at first they lied about it.
The passes. Okay.
Can we try again?
So it would have to be Gelding if it's the passes then. Just saying.
Should we go Gelding passes? Everybody's screaming Gelding passes.
All right, try it. Gelding passes.
I'm not convinced of this. I think we should, but go on.
Well,
And
I
it was-
wasn't either, but I was
stop.
wrong,
Before
so-
you do it, this is what I said first, and you 3 talked me out of it.
What? Gelding?
Gelding. I'm so pissed that we didn't just do. God damn it. All right, so it's not Preakness. I'm going to go with Gelding. I feel confident enough.
Did you think it was Gelding?
I did.
No.
No, I know.
I'm not but go ahead.
All right, let's go with Gelding. All right,
Magnum-
so we're
Magnum
0 for
said it
1,
was.
but there are 5, but we felt like it could be him. All right, Dr. Gelding. It's Dr. Gelding. It's Dr. Gelding. Now, we're not out of the woods just yet.
Okay.
It's not just that. So it is Dr. Gelding. Question 2. Which of these items includes Gelding's lie? The witness statement from Craig Zimmerman, the Verona Voice newspaper, or the interrogation of Dr. Gelding? It's one of those 3.
Can we go through all of them?
Let's go. We're going to go through all of them.
Okay. Witness statement of Craig Zimmerman. I thought I had that, and I do.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed. God damn it. Well, I'll tell you what, half the chat was right. It was literally split between those 2. David, you want to read this?
No, you said half the chat was right, and I went.
Well, you should get really mad at your wife because she was the one that was really pushing.
She talked me out of it.
Well, that's a lesson, isn't it?
I didn't feel comfortable making a guess until we went through all the witness statements again.
Oh my God, we're not going to go through every witness statement.
And it wasn't Sophie or Olivia. Anyway.
All right,
Right.
So,
That's
One of
fair.
you guys read Craig Zimmerman's witness statement?
I'll read it. I have it. Oh, you're going to read it? You read it.
No, right.
I have it up. Oh, sorry. I I thought I had it up on the screen, and now I do. Okay.
All right. I was sitting next to Liz Adams at the pep rally when Robert Romero came running through the doors, and Mrs. Dowling and a few teachers ran out there after him. We had no idea what was going on at first. Within a few minutes, there was a buzz among the crowd that someone had jumped. I started frantically looking around the room for Jamie because I was already worried about how she was reacting to the horrible review I wrote. Then I heard the news. At first, I didn't want to accept it. I hoped that somehow I'd heard wrong, but when Principal Dowling approached me and said the police might need to talk to me about the review, I knew it was real. I was ushered into Principal Dowling's office with a few other students. We all sat there for an hour in silence, stunned. Jamie was one of my closest friends. We had our ups and downs, and it was upsetting to me that we couldn't be more than friends, but I'm horrified to think she killed herself over what I wrote. I feel so guilty and ashamed. I even met with Dr. Gelding second period before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Miss Marston's class to talk about the review, and together we came up with a plan to try to fix the mistake. Gelding was always looking out for Jamie, but it was too late. All I wanted was for her to give us a chance. We got along better than any two people on earth. I thought she was the one, and now I'm quite certain my words have killed her. All right.
Well, that checks out. He did say that, right?
He did.
Period before the pep rally, he pulled me out.
Yep. I think he said he talked to Zimmerman then, right?
Yep. Because they said it was around second. Remember, they were pressing him. They're like, about that time. And he's like, yeah, it was like the end of second period. I brought him back. The class wanted to show me what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yep. The other two options are the Verona Voice newspaper, which what would Dr. Gelding have said here that was wrong? Or where's the lie here? Oh, there's also this middle part. I don't think it's this. It must be his interrogation, right?
Yeah, and that's when he talked about.
You know, it's got to be the goddamn passes, which we were already talking about, right?
Wait, what does the paper say?
Not much. You got Joey Ferrari's state championship preview thing. You have upcoming Wayne's World contest, the Culinary Delight Showdown, Pottery Olympics competition next week. And then there's that whole write-up about her being such a shitty Juliet. That's pretty much it.
So he says in his witness statement that he did pull Zimmerman out of class second period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's legit. So it's got to be.
But what does the other article say?
Gelding's interrogation. What other article?
The front page of the newspaper about the review.
Oh, that's it. It's just Zimmerman's takedown of Banks. That's all that is. It's got nothing to do with Gelding.
Yeah. So that couldn't be his lie, right?
There's nothing. Gelding. The only thing Gelding pops up on is it says that he's the faculty advisor of the newspaper staff. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So then it has to be
the interrogation. I want to click on that. That's right. Gelding lied during the interrogation. Dr. Gelding said he wasn't in the newspaper room all day. Dr. Gelding, me? Yeah, well, of course, but I haven't been in that room all day. Detective, are you sure? Dr. Gelding, certain. Answer the final question. Oh, boy.
He had to have gone in to get the... No, he didn't have to. Start.
No, ready?
Disregard it. Yeah, final question, go.
Wait, I have a question. How do we know that... Like, where is the lie? Like, where does he say he went to the newspaper room?
I think we're getting to that.
Which two items from the list prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day? So we kind of fucked this up.
But we're on the right track.
But we're all over it.
Prove that he was in there?
Yes. So, ready? Prove that we need two items from this list. I have a list for you that prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day. Was it the coroner's investigation report, a witness statement from Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, or Ferrari, a crime scene photo of the deceased victim on the ground, newspaper room door, newspaper room window, computer screen / suicide note, evidence photo, the pocket items, letter from Linda Banks, or Jamie's obituary? Holy smokes.
It's the letter from her mother saying that they had no idea that she was in therapy.
That could be one. That would
but
be
wait,
one.
hold on a second. It says, which two items from this list prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day?
Okay, so disregard then. Yeah, disregard what I
So,
said.
Time out.
Nicole?
I think I know, Rich, but I think we've skipped over like the second question was that the interrogation proved that Gelding was in the room, right? Or that he lied about being in the room.
Well,
Yes.
right.
He said he wasn't in there all day.
What do we have right now that says he was in the room? Like that's what we like.
Ferrari's statement. Pull up Joey's statement.
Oh boy.
Who let Ferrari let himself in the room?
Who
right?
let the dogs out? Ferrari's witness statement says
It doesn't say anything about him being in the room.
no, it does not.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I was just reading the thing about Mr. Griffin is my teacher.
Oh boy.
No.
So honestly, I think we kind of lucked into this a little bit because we knew that the interrogation was what he was lying about, but we thought it was the wrong thing. And so
Yeah.
apparently his interrogation kind of points to the fact that he. Oops,
Well,
I'm sorry, that's the wrong one.
That
That
he
is
did go in the
previous.
room?
Yeah, so he was in the room. He goes, Ben Gelding says, you think someone was in the room with her? That's a shock. Well, I'm quite sure Joey Ferrari was the last one in the room because I spoke with every member of the newspaper and asked them. He's like, yeah, we spoke to Joey. He's like, then I guess I don't know. Only the seniors had the keys to that room. And they're like, well, Zimmerman and Joey were both in the school photo. Marilyn took it, but we couldn't find you in there, Dr. Gelding. Do you have a key to that room? Yeah, of course. But I haven't been in that room all day. Are you sure? Certain. I left my pad of hall passes in there last night. I didn't pick them up this morning, and the police haven't let me back in there to get the room. Why'd you leave a pad of hall passes in the newspaper room? Wasn't on purpose. So you're right, Davey. That might be a pad of passes, but that he's not lying about that then.
No.
Fuck.
What were the other things the other options?
So it was the coroner's investigation report,
Coroner's investigation report.
which is this. It's a twofold here. High school. Let's see. Let me get this second page, maybe. Yes. Comments, victim 18 years old, based on the evidence present in this case, it appeared she jumped, fell, or was pushed. Feet first.
So, exactly. Can we assume he had to write the past the day of?
Right.
Yeah.
That might be it. That he couldn't have written it the night before.
Yeah. Because
But
Ferrari had one.
But what would that be? Oh, the Ferrari's witness statement, maybe.
So if
Right.
Ferrari had the pass, he would have had to have got it from him from that pad, and he would have had to because he got it in the morning.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But there's two items from this list that prove Gelding was in the newspaper room that day. One of them would be Joey Ferrari's witness statement.
But his witness statement says it doesn't say anyone was in there.
No, but what?
No, but he got the pass. He got the pass from Gelding, and Gelding said he didn't have his passes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. All Joey does say is that, if he lets me go to the newspaper room if I have a pass from Dr. Gelding to finish up the article or work on it. So I signed out of study hall as soon as it started and was in the newspaper room within probably 4 to 5 minutes after the start of the second period.
When I got there, the door was locked and the lights were out. Since I'm a senior, I have a key. I let myself in.
Oh, fuck.
Right. So, like, I don't.
Yeah, because so he was already in the hallway, right? Son of a bitch.
That's why I don't.
Like I can't. Like I don't. Yeah.
This is a real son of a
I study
bitch.
hall in the cafeteria. Mr. Griffin is my teacher there, and he lets me go up to the newspaper room if I have a pass from Dr. Gelding to finish up an article or work on clip art or whatever. I signed out, got there, door was locked, lights were out. said where he
So-
works, and then said he left, shut off the lights, and locked the door behind him.
But then you see the picture of the newsroom and the door's propped open.
Right, but I said that last time, and then everyone was like, the police probably did it when they took the photos.
No, they don't do that. They don't move anything.
No, I don't think the police opened it.
So it was
So
open.
what are we saying? The
would it
door
be-
being open.
But the principal said the door was shut and locked, and she had the teacher stand outside it.
Yes.
So the door was shut and locked. The principal said it.
Unless she's a liar.
Maybe she's the liar.
That bitch.
Let me
Stupid
let me rewind. We have a new suspect.
Okay.
Son of a goddamn gun.
So, okay. Maybe it is the passes.
Wait,
But
is there?
passes
You want me to
are-
zoom in on
Maybe
this?
he took the passes in when he went to kill her, and then that's why he said they were in there.
Or
Yeah,
he
he's,
opened the door.
because-
and
Because if the passes were in there and he was like, shoot, that would prove that I was in there. He was like, no, I left them in there the night before. Maybe.
I don't know.
All right, Jordan. Again, if we assume he had to write a pass the day of, and he says the passes were in that room, he had to be in that room day of because Ferrari had a pass.
And didn't he say something to the effect that like
So we have-
Ferrari could have been the last one to see her?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ferrari said he was alone.
right.
Right.
So
All right, I'll give you that. I
Okay.
honestly think that Joey Ferrari's witness statement, I'm on board now. I think
Yeah.
that is one of the two items. But there's also
I think
Craig's
that-
witness statement, Gelding's witness statement, Dowling's witness statement, any of the crime scene photos, the evidence photo, or the two new items we got today.
well, so that the
So
the
Yeah, you want
picture
the
of the room.
chalkboard? I can't.
So-
No, I can't.
yeah, the
you can't read
the
that.
picture-
I can't read
Yeah,
the chalkboard. The chalk. This is all I got. Is this photo that we're showing here on the YouTube?
Okay. Who has keys to this room?
Okay, I was just reading that. So
Every
it's
senior. That's
every
on the
senior.
Verona
So
board.
it's Zimmerman,
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari,
Banks.
Jamie,
Yep.
Gelding, and
Uh,
Marilyn Roberts, who's the
It's-
editor.
Yeah.
Jamie
So-
Banks, Joey Ferrari, Craig Zimmerman, Marilyn Roberts. You're right.
So okay. So if Marilyn Roberts was taking the picture,
Yeah, we are goosed.
Marilyn Roberts was taking the picture. Joey was in the picture.
Zimmerman's in the picture.
Zimmerman's in the picture.
Banks is dead.
So
Gelding would be the only one that could
He's the only
open
one.
the door. And the principal says that she sent Mr. Griffin up to the 6th floor to guard the newspaper room door until the police got there,
Mhm.
which means that they wouldn't have been the one to open it.
but the
And so-
teacher who went to guard the door said it was shut.
Where?
Hold on. It said it in the thing. Hold on.
In Dowling's thing.
Hold on.
We are goosed.
We're not forked yet.
Mr. Griffin says the door was locked
yeah.
when he got there, and so he just guarded the door. It was empty when I opened it for the police, and there's only one way in or out.
All right, so I don't know. I'm
But-
lost.
I think like
But
I mean-
Gelding's passes are in there.
the passes are in there, but he had to have had a pass. If we're assuming he had to write it the day that day, then he had the passes at some point to write Ferrari a pass. Okay. Now we know Ferrari left at some point. Jamie was in there, so he had to have brought the passes in with him, and now he's made up this whole story about how he left them there the night before.
Would you call that cockamamie?
Yes.
Yeah,
This whole
cockamamie.
cockamamie story about
Mhm.
how he left the. All right.
No, so the Gelding's interrogation, it
Right.
does not help us here. So it would be Gelding's witness statement, maybe.
No, the interrogation would, I think, because
No,
he
the
said-
interrogation is what got us here. So now from there, we
Oh,
need
okay.
to. So that we can't even use that. Is my
Okay,
point.
so the picture with the passes in the room. No, because he already said they were in the room. That wouldn't prove that he lied.
Right. It's just about the timing of it. Yeah. So again, Joey Ferrari's witness statement, I think we checked that off, but we need 2. Now, did Gelding say anything in his witness statement? That might be the next question, right? Let's see. It's very difficult. Jesus Christ, here we go again. Now this is just more about him and Jamie and the thing.
Right. Everyone in the chat's like, if he wrote we know that he had to have wrote the past that day, but now we have to figure out which document proves that he lied about.
Yeah, it's 2. Yeah, right. Good point. It's 2. So I think Gelding said about the past. Did Gelding say anything about the passes in the witness statement though? I don't know if he did.
Ferrari statement.
No. Ferrari statement. We're that's one of our things. We're using Ferrari statements. So don't worry about that.
Ferrari statement is already one of them. Shime. We're trying to figure out the second one.
So. Man. All right. So I asked everyone. This is from Gelding's witness statement. I asked everyone who works on the school paper, and Joey Ferrari was the last person in the newspaper room before Jamie. He might have some clues about the room that would be helpful. I'd also encourage you to speak with Mr. Preakness. He gets very close, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think he says shit about the passes in the witness statement, right?
No.
Can we look at the evidence again?
Yeah. You want the evidence photos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Evidence photos is nothing. It's the pen, it's the poison, it's the keys, it's the $100 bill, and then
hang on.
Shit that the spreads. Yep.
Hang on. She had her keys in her pocket when she fell.
Right.
So the only person who could get in that room who wasn't dead or in the photo is him. Because she had her keys on her. Is that anything?
I don't think it's nothing.
It's something.
Let me read the comments. They hate us.
We know he had passes that day from Ferrari's statement, and we know the passes are there from the crime scene photo, so we know he was in the room that day.
Yes, we know that.
We know that, but we need 2.
Show what things prove it.
Is the crime scene photo one of the documents, Rich? What is the one? What is the list of documents? I mean, maybe.
All right. So once again, we have to pick 2 of these: the coroner's investigation report, witness statement from Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, or Ferrari, crime scene photos, all 4 of them that we have, the evidence photo, the shit that's in her pockets, or the 2 new items we got: the letter from from Linda Banks and Jamie's obituary. So I understand what the chat is saying about. Well, there was a stack of.
We don't know those. We don't know those are them. I mean, we could just assume.
But we also don't know that he necessarily.
So is that an evidence photo? What was that?
Yeah,
that's an evidence photo.
Okay, so maybe evidence photo and the statement.
Ferrari statement.
The pocket items. Like, so Davey, you're talking about the keys?
No. I'm talking about the evidence photo. I mean, the photo, the crime scene photo, and Ferrari statement.
Oh, the crime scene photo.
Yeah, I misspoke.
No, that's okay. You're talking about this one here?
Correct.
Yeah, that one.
So that would be newspaper room window.
Yeah, so they're saying that sorry, I'm trying to point to the screen, that those are the passes.
Yeah.
To the bottom left, yeah.
That was the thought. I mean, we can assume because there's no other paper and they kind of look the size of a pass.
So they're throwing us off with the window. I don't think the window's nothing, right? The window's open.
Well, I think the window, it's just a way of there's 2 newspaper room photos. One's of the door, one's of the window.
Yeah.
So this would be the window one. So should we go with that? Witness statement, Joey Ferrari.
Yes.
Plus the crime
scene photo, newspaper room window.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going with it.
All
You
right.
ready? Can we hold hands? No.
Okay.
So it's not that.
They tell you both are wrong? Or just
Unfortunately, those aren't either of the items we were looking for.
So cross them off. We'll just do process of elimination.
God damn it.
You know what, though? I just feel a little happy that it wasn't the fucking passes because I didn't want everyone to yell at me.
Hey, nice talk.
I'm just saying because I was like, it's not the passes.
We're not solving this. We're not doing anybody any justice. You don't get a do-over. We're getting so many goddamn do-overs tonight.
Well, because I feel like this
stinks.
This is just silly now. Like, we know he's lying. Chat, I know chat really wanted it to be the passes. We know, Shine. We
bought into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Good. No, Steve's right. It was definitely closer to the passes than Preakness.
It was.
It wasn't Preakness.
I still think Preakness is a liar. But
thank you, Tyler. I want to get this. I want to get this son of a bitch right. I don't want to be like, oh, we've tried everything else and it ain't it.
Okay,
I agree. We've
come too far.
They're both wrong, Adam.
Yeah, but Nicole, we know it's gelding though.
We know gelding.
We know it's gelding.
We know it's gelding because the game told us it was gelding. We still aren't sure. Like.
No, not quite.
No,
we thought it was Preakness and it wasn't, and then we guessed gelding. So we knew it was gelding over Olivia, Sophie, or Johnny. So we got that part right.
3 of the 4 people knew it was either Preakness or gelding.
But my question is, so for going back to the first guess when it's gelding and catching him in a lie, have we figured out what that lie is? For sure.
So here's my biggest problem though, is I'm with you guys on the bipolar and him treating Jamie, but how on earth does that prove that he was in the room?
Yeah, the question is how do you prove he's in the room? That has
we already know he's the liar, but to
seal
it based on the game, we need to prove that he was in the room.
We need to put him in the room.
Nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with that shit.
So what proves he's in the room? Okay, let's look at timelines because I feel like they're all so specific about timelines. So let's look at, I'd say like anything that mentions time about gelding, Zimmerman, Ferrari is important.
Okay. All right, here is Zimmerman. I was sitting next to Liz Adams at the pep rally when Robert Romero came running through the doors and Mrs. Dowling and a few teachers ran out there after him. We had no idea what was going on. Within a few minutes, there was a buzz among the crowd that someone had jumped, blah, blah, blah. At first, I wanted to, blah, blah. So I even met with Dr. Gelding's second period before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Mr. Master's class to talk about the review. That's about it on Zimmerman.
Okay. So he didn't really give it. He said second period.
Yes, he said. I even met with Dr. Gelding's second period. And I think Gelding says the same shit.
I think he does too.
What classroom does Gelding say he takes Zimmerman back to?
I don't think he says specifically, but because I know one of them is specific about going. Romero is specific about going to Italian, but I don't think Gelding says.
He just says, I talked to Craig Zimmerman this morning. He's the young man who wrote the review. God damn it. God damn it. Jordan saying from 10 to 10:10 we don't really have.
So wait, does Zimmerman say in his statement he went, hold on. Right.
I'm reading Dowling's statement, by the way, if anyone's wondering what I'm doing. Because that's one of the things on the list, right?
Dowling's statement?
Yeah.
Is, yes, one of the things. The principal, Janice Dowling.
Will you go through what's on the list again? What's left on the list?
Yep. The coroner's investigation report, witness statements from Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, and Ferrari, all the crime scene photos, the evidence photo, and then the two new items, the letter from Linda Banks and Jamie's obituary. Which two items from the list prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day? Can we see the other pictures? Yeah, which pictures do you want to see? Do you want to see? Here are the crime scene photos again. It's the Verona voice. It's just the door. Zoom out. It's just the door. We know the door is open, whatever that may mean to you. And then it's a picture of Jamie, which really helped us for the first thing. It says 10:51, shoes off. I don't think that's going to help us again. The other photos are the.
I don't really see anything I don't see anything in Dowling's statement.
Okay.
She doesn't mention Gelding at all, other than to say like talk to him about the newspaper stuff.
The time on the door. Let's see. 11:02. 11:02 on the door. No, you can't read the chalkboard. Chalkboard looks like it's kind of erased. I don't think you're really. But the time is 11:02. Yeah, that's the order of the photos too. It's the photo of her on the ground is 10:51. The door open is 11:02. The door once you're in the room is 11:04. So obviously they just took the photo and then walked in, took the other photo, and then the screen is 11:09 is what you see the computer screen. Is that a newspaper clipping from the night before? Ooh boy. Let's take a look. Is that
see that? I can't see it.
See that?
Can you see it on the raw, like the actual photo?
Let's see.
Not the scan.
Let me see if I got these bad boys on the ready here. Yeah, you know what? Well,
hold on. He said Zimmerman said he pulled him out of Mr. Marston's class, and Gelding said he pulled him out of Griffin's class.
Right.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking. Remember when I said, did they pull out of the same class? Where is that though, Davey? Because I couldn't.
That's in Craig Zimmerman's witness statement.
All right,
I think, by the way, that is the Verona voice, but I don't think it really matters. I think it was the next day, and everybody was talking about this, so that's why they posted.
I even met with Dr. Gelding second period before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Ms. Marston's class to talk about the review and come up with a plan. He says he pulled him out of Mr. Griffin's class and that he was in there and the kids were asking him questions. So he says he was in the complete. Sorry,
what is, because that's what I couldn't find. I thought he said Mr. Griffin's, but what document is that?
So Craig Zimmerman's thing says, but again, that doesn't put him in the room.
No, but that actually proves he's lying, which is what we didn't know what it was.
So right there.
We still couldn't answer where the actual lie in the document.
So there it is. So he says, I met with Dr. Gelding second period before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Ms. Marston's class. And then he says in his interview that I talked to Craig Zimmerman and I pulled him out of like Mr. Griffin's class.
And what is it, the interview or the interrogation?
I'm looking right now. But again, I mean, it doesn't answer the question. It doesn't put him in the room. But
well,
no, but it tells us what he lied about.
But
no, I can't see shit in these.
I guess like
listen, I thought these guys in 92 really bungled it. Now I'm starting to understand why they kind of had the result that they did. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay.
Yeah, the lie part is we got it. We know it's Gelding.
That. Yeah.
How do we know that Gelding was in the room? Driving me nuts.
Well, we can cross stuff off, right?
Right.
So
Now,
I don't.
the key part only makes sense.
Wait, sorry. I'm just going to say one thing. Gelding in his interrogation says that he had a session, but he didn't say anything about who or what he took him from or dropped him off to. He just said the students in his class.
Okay, so that's
okay,
and that. But let me see. Maybe it's in the witness statement.
Davey.
Yeah.
Let me go back to you on this one. You said if the door was open,
Mm-hmm.
would fuck.
No,
I'm
the
trying to
door
think.
wasn't open though. Dowling said it wasn't.
Yeah, but how
Griffin-
was
But in the photo, it
picture
was.
Right, and the only person that could have opened it was
And the only
was
person who could have
Gelding at
opened
that
it was
point.
Gelding
right?
because Jamie had her keys on her.
And everybody else who has keys was in the photo, right?
Correct.
Yes, and with Hawkeye in the gym.
So they couldn't have left.
So isn't the crime scene photo or the evidence
Yes.
photos, that has to be one of them then?
It has
It
to be.
has to be.
I think you're
Because
right.
he's the only person with the key because she had it.
Right.
It makes sense.
I think
So
you're
it would
right.
be the evidence and it would be the crime scene photo.
All
Because
right.
he's the only person who can open that door.
Well, it's definitely okay.
But
And the door was open.
I don't know.
But that means, what's his name said the door was closed.
Mr. Griffin says the door was locked when he got there.
Yeah.
So he just guarded the door. It was empty when I opened it for the police.
But how would Mr. do all the
So he
teachers
guarded
know
the
that?
door.
I don't fucking get that part.
She's very specific in saying Griffin said.
Shime says
I-
Dowling said she opened it for the cops. God damn it. So why was it? But then why was it in the photo? Why would they have somebody else open it and then take a picture? That makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
It
I
was
don't
open.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say the doors lock automatically. Look at her statement. Who's her? What are we doing here?
Dowling.
Dowling?
Yeah.
Statement.
All right, want to look at Dowling's witness statement?
I was looking. I didn't really see anything, though. Mr. Griffin says the door was locked when he got there and just guarded the door. It was empty when I opened it for the police.
Mhm.
And there's only one way out. So she's saying she opened it.
But why
Which
would
is-
they? But why would they take a photo of that?
Of the open door?
Yeah,
I agree.
Maybe
I have no
something with
idea.
the light. If she opened the door and the light was on. I don't know. The door was.
it doesn't make any sense that they would.
Hold
one
on.
of the photos that they would include, one of the crime scene photos would be an open door, but it was opened after the fact. Why would you do that?
Wait, because didn't no, this is important because Ferrari said he shut the lights off and locked the door, and the lights are on.
Right, but she was in there, so
Yeah.
she wouldn't stand in a dark room.
Right.
She would go in there and turn the lights on. That's why I'm like, I don't fucking understand what this like door has to do with any of it. I think it's just a nothing. I don't know.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! I don't know, man. It's something's up with the door.
Right, but okay, let's look at it again. Hold on.
I'm just saying, like, because it
I mean, it's
seems
great.
when we first see it, you're like, all right, this is nothing. But then they talk about the door automatically shuts. They talk about all this bullshit. Yeah, dude, I'm looking at the photo here. Like the real photo of it. The scan does a pretty good job. That's pretty clear. I can't make out shit on the chalkboard. Says something about next week's stories. And it's just like a list of stuff.
But the
I'm
thing is,
guessing it is.
what's getting me is like all that shit's weird, but it doesn't put him in the room.
It does not put him in the room. Yeah. All right. Once again, here are the list of things we can choose from. We need 2 of these that prove that Dr. Gelding was in the newspaper room the day that Jamie died. The coroner's investigation report,
Which was nothing really.
which we looked at. I don't think there was anything. The witness statements from Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, or Ferrari. Any of the 4 crime scene photos. The evidence photo, which were what were in Jamie's pockets. The letter from Linda Banks or Jamie's obituary. Now, Jamie's obituary is not much. It is a new item, but it has zero mention of Gelding, zero mention of like really anything that was going on in there. It just says she was an investigator reporter. That's all it really says. in the letter that Jamie's mom says, again, we were kind of on him for the nonsense with with him diagnosing her
Again,
bipolar.
that doesn't put him in the room.
Doesn't help there at all. And again, this letter from Linda Banks also took place 28 years after the fact. So,
Mhm.
All right, people are asking to see the obituary.
okay. Yeah, if you want to see the obituary, I mean, again, listen, I've been wrong before, but I don't see anything here. That's it. Sucks. I mean,
Yeah, I don't really understand.
yeah, I thought that the new evidence had to be something, but Mrs. Davey had a great point that, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to help, but not necessarily in
Not
objective
this.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think the game is smart too by like giving you just more information and like maybe kind of clouding you a little bit.
Who were the witness statements to choose from? Dowling, Zimmerman, Gelding, or Ferrari?
Yeah, Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, Ferrari. So Gelding himself.
Hold on.
Okay. Whoa, this sounds promising.
Okay.
We had our weekly meeting this is Gelding. We had our weekly meeting after school yesterday. That's when the students pitch their stories for next week, and I write the assignments on the chalkboard.
Okay.
There's nothing on the chalkboard. And when he said, "What is Jamie writing her story about?" he said, "I don't know." She would have had to have told him, or they would have had to have written stories on the board, and there's nothing on the board.
Well, there
is. They've been erased.
Stuff on the board. We just can't really.
It looks like it got erased.
Oh, well,
But how does
that
that
prove
he was in the room?
Because if she was writing a story about, like, he wanted to cover it up, like what she was writing the story about, because now nobody knows.
But he wrote on the board with the whole newspaper team, and then went back and erased it and killed her.
Maybe he erased it all.
What I'm saying, he erased it after the fact.
Something's up with this.
I'm fucking telling you that that chalkboard. Why is it there and why can't you read it? And he said, I wrote shit on the chalkboard and it's not there.
Ooh, I think the board. I'm getting in on the board. He's talking about the assignments.
And that's in his interrogation.
And then either there was or there wasn't. And if there was, and they're like, what is she writing about? And he's like, oh, I don't know.
And he said he wrote it on the board, right? And then after that meeting, he was never in that room. But as we've discussed, he's the only person in that room with access to it. So the only person who could have erased it is either Jamie or him.
Or Ferrari.
And why would they erase the board? Why would Ferrari?
I like that could be one of the things.
Well, that's his interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I'm saying the same thing. Wouldn't the other students there, like, they all knew about the story?
Yeah, but they never asked them.
I kind of like I kind of like it. I kind of like crime scene photo newspaper room door. I kind of like that as one of them.
Okay, yep. I mean, then what's the other one?
What's the other one?
I mean, that was his. That puts him in the room because he's the only person who could have erased it in that time. Why would Jamie go in there like to write a suicide note, erase the board, and then jump?
Right.
Why would Ferrari, who was in there to write that story that he pitched, erase it?
It's about him. Ferrari, it was a story about him taking bets and throwing games.
That's what Gelding said.
All right, here's the back of the obit. People want to know the back of the obit. I didn't think it was anything. Because also the obit is also not the Verona voice. So it's like the people in that room wouldn't have written this.
Chime is getting real excited over here.
What's Shime excited about? Shime, what do you want?
I don't know. Do the word suicide.
Yeah, he talks about pressure in the thing. She spoke to him about pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's circumstantial.
Yeah. God damn. No, but we need to put him in the room. Like, we already know he's a scumbag. We already know he's a liar. We already know that part of it.
I'm telling you, I think the chalkboard.
Why else is he a liar? So Tyler thinks the obit and the chalkboard, but I don't know what the obit would
What's
do.
the obit do?
I don't think the obit helps us here. I don't think the obit puts Dr. Gelding in the room.
Yeah, what do you think the obit says that puts him in the room?
Yeah. I mean, I think the chalkboard, I think we're on to something here. I think you guys kind of sniff that out. Because basically, at the top, it does say something about weak story.
I'm going to go.
But it's clearly like erased.
I'm going to go that photo.
Yep. So we got
her key.
Her keys?
And her keys.
And the evidence photo?
Yeah.
So this, which would prove
that she had her. Well, no, it doesn't.
What does that prove?
Fuck, man.
But the chalkboard's one of them.
The chalkboard,
I like chalkboard. I like it.
Because why else? Like it's kind of like the shoe off the foot. Like, why put that photo in there? It was so specific. So maybe the chalkboard is specific since we knew the door was locked.
All right. So Tyler says, Keefe, if the board has the story about the CPR story that was from that morning, it couldn't have been written the night before.
Is there something about the CPR thing?
Dude, I can't read this.
But the other thing too, that they bring up a good point. He wouldn't have seen the suicide note, and he mentions it in the statement after the fact that she was the pressure was too much. He wouldn't have known that.
Okay, yeah.
Unless he wrote it.
Who wrote it? Gelding?
Gelding.
Okay, maybe.
Shime is losing his mind.
It's all caps Shime right now. It's all caps in the chat.
His words.
Yeah, the photo with the window open has been ruled out, but the photo with the door, I think we feel good about, and now we just need one other one. And I don't know. We kind of thought the evidence photo for a second.
So I guess.
No, let's skip that.
Is it a witness statement?
So he specifically mentions talking to Craig about the article, but never mentions anything about talking to Jamie. So I guess that could, like, how is he saying that she felt pressured and she was upset about the article when he doesn't say, like, she talked to me? He's like, I knew she might be, so I talked to Craig. Like, why wouldn't he talk to her that day?
Oh, You're saying he did talk to her in the room?
Or no. I'm saying, like, he specifically says she was feeling a lot of pressure. She was upset about the article. Like, well, how does he know that? He never mentioned.
He never saw her.
Article. He mentions talking to Craig about the article.
I took my wife. And
is it the statement? I have a question. Is it if we know Jamie was in there between second and third period? We don't know that. Do we know that it automatically locks, or do you have to?
Ferrari said it did.
Ferrari said it automatically.
Yeah, it shuts and locks on its own. I don't know.
No, this is what he says. He says, the room gets pretty hot that time of day. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sun or maybe it's the heat's broken or something, but I opened the window to let some cool air in. I lost track of time and suddenly it was 8:50 and I only had 5 minutes to sign back into study hall. So I saved my outline on a floppy, but I didn't shut down the computer. I was in a rush, but I'm positive I turned off the light and shut the door behind me. I think I left the window open. When I was a sophomore, someone propped open the door once and some jerks vandalized a bunch of equipment. So Mr. Gelding is really strict about us locking the door behind us ever since. So if you have to lock the door behind you when you leave, and Jamie has her keys on her when she was out the window, the only person that would have had the keys to lock the door would have been Mr. Gelding. And so I think it's the principal's statement confirming that the door was locked.
Oh,
look at you.
Even a bottle of wine in. That makes sense.
So, all right. So that would be whose statement?
Dowling's.
The principal's statement and the keys in Jamie's pocket.
Yeah.
So not the newsroom door being open.
No. I'm going
I
with
like that
counsel on
though.
this.
I like that. So we're gonna go right now with Janice Dowling's witness statement
Mhm.
and the evidence photo.
The fact that Jamie had her keys in her pocket.
Because why? Because Janice Dowling, the principal, said
Because we know from Joe Ferrari that you have to lock the door behind you when you leave. He says, I'm positive I locked it behind me when I left, which means that I think we guessed that it automatically locks behind you when you shut the door. I don't think that's accurate. So if Jamie walked in and was in the room and she went out the window with her keys in her pocket and the door was locked, there's only one human being that wasn't available to lock the door, and that was Mr. Gelding.
Boom.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm doing well done, Nicole. Well, hold on. I'm doing
We
witness
don't know.
statement. I'm doing witness statement, Janice Dowling.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the evidence photos.
And evidence photos. Check answers. No.
No?
Neither?
No.
I give up. I give up then.
Do my thing. Since we got like 3 things left. It's neither of those.
Oh my god.
I thought, I don't know. Does it say neither?
Yeah.
Fuck.
What?
Oh my god. What the fuck?
I don't know then.
Do my thing. Do the evidence photo, the crime scene photos.
Yep.
And the keys.
Well, no, it's not the keys. We did.
Oh, so do the crime. What was it? No, the crime scene photo, and it was Ferrari's.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh fuck! I'm not even supposed to be here. We stink.
We stink at this game. This sucks, dude. This sucks.
So what's left? What's left?
All right.
The door.
So the door photo.
And what else? What's left?
Crime scene room door.
Yeah.
And what the fuck else?
What are the other options? Is what I'm saying.
What's left?
Oh, sorry. The coroner's investigation report. Witness statements from Zimmerman, Gelding, Dowling, Ferrari. We've already tried Dowling and Ferrari.
So they're out.
All 4 of the crime scene photos. The evidence photo. Well, it's not that. And the 2 new items. The letter from Linda Banks and Jamie's obituary.
The crime scene photos. The crime scene photos is one of them. I'm guaranteed.
The obit could also include what's on the back about
that's not
the
about
CPR.
Aladdin?
I'd be a widow today if it weren't for his knowledge of what to do in that situation. His wife of 44 years. His wife of 44 years said she and her husband are eternally grateful for Dakota taking the time to learn CPR. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm with Eric on this. Like, why would you put this information on the back unless it's just like throw you off? But like the whole thing about Aladdin, like that's great. But
Like, yeah, it's like
how does that put Gelding in the fucking room though?
That's what I mean. None of the unless
happened last week just before school began early Friday morning.
Okay, so I can see what they're saying. If they're saying like the obit, if it says something on the board about either of those stories, about the Aladdin story, the CPR story, then someone had to have written it. So maybe it was Gelding.
I mean, it's hard to read, even with like the photo of it. It's hard to read, but we can look again.
So here's what I want. Here's what I need someone to do, because I'm playing. So what have we guessed so far? So it was
Dowling and Ferrari's, both of their statements, and then newspaper. Then the evidence photos were in her pocket, and the newspaper room window, I think. Or no, the door. I forget.
And it was the evidence in the. It was Dowling. So the one that Nicole pitched was the evidence photos and Dowling's statement.
Yep.
The one we did before that was Ferrari's statement. And
Eric says it says Samson, the CPR lady. How are you seeing?
how are you seeing that?
Wait,
I mean,
who's Mrs. Sampson?
that's the Dakota Save Samson.
Yeah. But who the fuck is that?
Dakota.
Who's Bertha Sampson?
That's the wife.
Of?
The guy who got CPR in the obit.
But where does it say that?
Yeah, but what's the point?
on-
How
What's
does
the
that
point?
help us?
Because if that happened in the morning and they pitched stories the night before, but it happened in the morning before school, someone had to have pitched the story and Gelding wrote it on the board. So he was in the room at some point. Does that make sense?
Wait, that Sampson was on the board? I couldn't read that. Somebody read that?
I can't read. It's definitely his writing on the board.
Yes.
Someone seems pretty.
Can you guys read that?
I
mean, I have
can't-
the photo.
who's
And, like, that's a
writing
pretty
that?
good scan. I can't really.
Whose writing is on the board?
It's
Gelding.
Gelding's writing.
Gelding's.
It's his cursive, you can tell for sure.
But how the fuck do you see that?
But I can't see how anyone is saying that they know what this says.
Look the capital S bottom right.
Oh, Sam.
I can't see anything.
I mean,
feel
I
like I'm
can
a crazy
very-
person right now.
Barely see that. Maybe that says life.
I can make out B-ball. It says B-ball. That's fucking tough, dude.
Ryan, you're the one with the eyeballs here.
Yeah, but it's all great. I can't see it. Like it's
I
all
know.
pixelated. I can't see it. If
All
I
right,
had
what
the
about- what
actual,
about this, can you see this? Let me try this.
hang on.
No, that's even
No,
worse.
that's worse.
That's even worse for me because you get the glare from your computer on it.
Better? Worse? The
No,
same?
Worse.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
So are we saying though that it's somehow this picture in the obituary?
No.
The obituary doesn't put him in the room.
Well,
Here's the thing.
no, the obituary might put him in the room because the obituary also counts the back of the page. And if he went in there, because the obituary had to have been from
the morning.
a couple days after. And so if they were writing this and he went in there and wrote this or
Gelding
rid of
had to be in the room on Friday if that's on the board.
yes.
And he says that he couldn't get his passes. And that's why he had to walk Zimmerman.
Should have gone with our gut. Should have said the new documents would have to have something to do with it. Should have. Yeah, Eric says the CPR happened the same morning of the murder. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
We did say that in the beginning.
He had to write it in the morning. Correct.
He had to have been in the room.
Yes.
So why not get the passes?
Well, it's
All
got
right,
nothing
so
to do with
the-
the goddamn passes.
So it's but it does. Because we can now prove that he was in the room, so he should have had his passes.
Well, no, we already know he's a liar. I'm saying,
Right. But this proves he was in the room. The obit and the picture of the door and the board.
All right, so I'm going with Jamie's obit and the newspaper room door.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh my.
Well, see, okay,
God.
I'm going to call bullshit because I can't read what's on the board.
I can't read what's on the board either, Davey. I am
I don't understand
perplexed
how
right now how that is something
how
we're supposed to-
anyone saw that. I'm
That is
suspicious. I'm
fortunate.
suspicious of you people in the chat who are
I
saying
know.
this.
Don't cheat,
Who
don't
said it
cheat.
says Samson on the board?
There's no fucking
But-
way like you would have had to have like bought the game yourself. There's no way you can read that.
I can't read it. I honestly can't. I can't. I have it in front of me and I can't. Now maybe
So
if
you're saying
Davey has a
because
problem-
there's a curse that's all pixelated. I can't read that.
Now, knowing that it says Samson, I can now see that this says Samson. But like, that's only if because you told me that it said Samson.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at I wish I could share with you my screen. I'll share my screen.
People are like, look at the cursive S. I mean, I you guys must have like
Well, his statements.
This
he does
is
write
this is
in
the
it.
this
But
is
that's
this thing
fucked.
I see. Can you? Am I sharing my screen right now?
You
No.
are not.
No.
Oh,
Right.
here. I got your screen now. Hold on. Let me
Share
figure this
screen.
out.
Oh, Rye's gone.
Would you
Wait,
There
you
she
put me
is.
back. You put me backstage.
All right, look. This is the only thing. This is what I see. Like I can't read that.
Horseshit.
No, even
It's horseshit.
I opened mine, and I'm like, I can't.
I'm looking at mine on the scan on my iPad, and I'm like, so.
All right, so this is what it says. It says Dr. Gelding said he wasn't in the newspaper room that day, which we proved that he wasn't. He added a news story to the newspaper room chalkboard that happened that morning,
Which we couldn't read, which we were at a so I would just like to go on record that say like the fact that we couldn't pick that out was not our fault. I just want that on record.
No, we all did say at the very beginning of this 2-hour tangent, we did talk about, oh wow, they specifically talk about this incident on the back of her obituary.
Yeah.
That must mean something. But like,
Oh,
if
we
you can't
definitely
read
said
that board, how could
I
you
can't-
know? That's annoying. I'm
That is
annoyed.
annoying. All right.
When people say like you see a cursive S, like that doesn't that's meaningless. Someone's
want
cheating.
Dr.
I
Sampson.
think seeing it's his cursive is enough, but why wouldn't he write on the board? It's his newspaper room.
Right. He clearly said the night before he wrote down things on the board.
And like all I'm gonna say right now is the person who pointed us to the board that the story was on the board, you're the real liar. You're cheating. There's no
Are you
What does that
gelding?
mean?
There's no way you can read that. There's no way. Convict
Wait,
the
I've-
killer.
Are you guys
Can
ready
I-
for
can I
objective
ask-
3? I just opened the
Wait,
envelope B.
I have a question because I'm still lost about something, and so
Mhm.
and we just might have to move on. But the first part of the first objective, like how we know he lied.
Yeah.
What was that?
We said it. It was
Because he was in the room.
because he heard it. No, didn't he say like he took the kid to the wrong class?
No, because he was in the room. And it was because he did a story that day.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Oh, so it was.
'Cause we were supposed to know that before we knew that is the whole
Right.
point. But we ended up kind of going backwards.
We knew
But we
Gelding
should-
lied.
Yes.
We just didn't know about what.
We knew Gelding lied, but what he lied about was being in the room that day. That's
Mhm.
what that was.
For
this is
fuck's
taking
sake, this
a fucking
this
detour.
is I cannot.
I need to get
Wait.
another beverage. So,
I'm done.
all right. So objective 3 is to convict. God damn it. Convict the killer.
Do we get new envelopes?
I have one new item.
Okay.
I believe it's just one new item. All right. Here we go.
So this
It says
matters.
here,
Let's go on.
objective
This
3.
matters. Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you, Davey. This matters.
In order to secure a conviction of the killer, you'll need additional evidence that directly connects the suspect to the crime. When you know who the killer is and have found the evidence to prove it, verify it online. All right. This is with the East Verona High School letterhead. A Massachusetts distinguished high school. And I'll tell you right now, it's from Janice Dowling.
Okay. What does Janice have to say?
To whom it may concern, I wanted to personally and sincerely thank you for your work on the Jamie Banks case. I'm hoping your efforts will finally uncover what happened to that lovely young woman. It was so long ago. I believe Judy Marston and I are the only remaining faculty members who were also present on that dreadful day. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I've heard that you may be focusing your investigation on Dr. Gelding. You should know that immediately after Jamie was found dead, Dr. Gelding worked tirelessly by my side to help students and staff get through that senseless tragedy. I don't think any of us could have endured it without him. I recently asked Judy what she recalled about that day, and she shared a story about Dr. Gelding I thought you should hear since it happened moments before Jamie died. He had stopped into her studio art class to drop off a student, and the class was bursting with excitement to show him what they had been working on. Despite being in a huge rush, he lovingly took the time with every student to praise their efforts right up until the bell rang. There's no way this caring man murdered a student mere moments later. I felt the need to reach out to you to share this anecdote and affirm that Dr. Gelding was always there for his students and they loved him. I can attest to his incredible kindness and genuine caring nature for everyone at the school, as well as his impeccable integrity and pristine record as our guidance counselor. It would definitely be a waste of your noble efforts to pursue Dr. Gelding. Better to focus on the others so justice can be served for Jamie more quickly. But I suppose you're the experts. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. Sincerely, Janice Dowling. What the fuck? Come on, gang. Come on, gang. What the fuck do we do now?
So she's trying to throw us off here.
She's trying to tell us that it's not him, and that
all right. What
she was.
Marston said he was there up until the moment she died.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
so right.
Ooh, boy.
So the only other people who are unaccounted for at the time she died are Rocca and Preakness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Somebody-
Olivia.
Somebody wants to know what the objective says specifically.
Convict the killer, as it says on the screen. That's exactly what I got. Objective number 3, convict the killer.
With what? The evidence?
A sternly worded email. Man, we have hit absolute roadblock. Okay.
But hang on.
The other suspects.
That class ended at 10. And she said he stayed up until the bell.
Yes.
Right?
Despite being in a huge rush, he lovingly took the time with every student to praise their efforts right up until the bell rang.
Do we know what floor that was on?
No.
We don't know what
think
floor.
so.
No, but also what time did she die?
10:10, I think.
10.
10:10. So that's still a 10-minute window. It's from 10 o'clock till 10:10.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean,
all that does is like we know he was in the room,
right.
and the only time he could have been in the room was right before she died.
Somebody's yelling the shoe that was thrown had clay on it. Gelding came from art class during pottery week.
That is true. So he could have had stuff on his hands to throw the shoe.
Yeah, so actually her letter sort of lends itself to actually implicating him, right?
And I always thought it was weird that there was like clay. I thought it was from the
Right.
construction on the 5th floor, but there was like the fact that she had clay on her shoe. That's the only way she and that was the shoe. It was her right shoe, the one that got thrown.
So,
And he came from the art class. And
yeah,
you
so
said
a
it was
few
pottery
small
week.
splatters of orange, yellow, and red latex house paint on the left shoe, and a smudge of clay on the heel of the right shoe.
The new thing that Dowling sent, just read about her going to the class one more time. Just that part.
Him going to the class.
Yeah.
The part where I just read.
Yeah.
Despite being in a huge rush, that part. He lovingly took the time with every student to praise their efforts right up until the bell rang. There's no way this caring man murdered a student mere moments later.
He took
Sure there is. He had 10 minutes to do so.
he said
So she said, I recently asked Judy what she recalled about that day, and she shared a story about Dr. Gelding. I thought you should hear since it happened moments before Jamie died. He had stopped in with her studio art class to drop off a student, and the class was bursting with excitement to show him what exactly they'd been working on. Despite being in a huge rush, he lovingly took the time with every student to praise their efforts right up until the bell rang.
okay, so
Art class,
studio art.
pottery week. We know it's pottery week.
We
'cause
know
it
it's
says it on the
pottery
paper.
week.
Yeah.
It's the only place the clay could have came from was that
Let's
class.
see.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the shoe that was thrown.
Now, here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing. Zimmerman's in that class. He got pulled out of class. Right?
Zimmerman?
So he was working with Clay. It never says anything. It never says anything about what's his name? Gelding touching Clay. He just talked to the students. Zimmerman was in the class doing it.
But Zimmerman was in the photo.
And Zimmerman.
He's not a suspect.
Right.
He's not a suspect.
Okay. So but that is worth noting.
Well, I mean, I'd say that her saying that he went in and like looked at every student's thing, but there's still that window of time.
And we know he was in the room that day.
And we know there's clay on the shoe.
On the right shoe, which is the one that got thrown.
The one that, right.
And we know that he lied about being in that room.
Mm-hmm. We got enough to convict, brother. It's the clay on the shoe.
Yeah.
Boom bap.
So clay on the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I? So okay. So want me to go to the website and say
Go to the website.
We're convicting the killer because there's clay on her shoe.
Well,
I mean,
well, it's more than that.
I'm sure it's going to ask
that,
you like
but that's
what
the last
documents
piece of it.
prove it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
That's the last piece.
All right. We're going with that. All right, let's go.
Wait,
All
should
right.
we see if everyone's okay with us? And are we doing this, or does anybody else have any other suggestions?
the killer had to have a key. We already said Gelding is the only one that
Gelding's
has
the only
a
one-
key.
We knew he was in there that morning.
He
and he
probably
lied about that.
He erased that board. He wrote.
He could lock
He
the door
lied about.
behind him.
He was in the art room doing pottery week, and there was clay on her shoe.
Mhm.
But so
Just
are we,
before.
But let me ask you this though. I feel like again, I don't know, maybe it's just the way the game has kind of gone and sort of steered us here a little bit. Do we think that Principal Dowling is a liar?
No.
No.
She
No.
Why would
makes it
she
very
lie?
clear that it's not Gelding.
Which
That's
is,
all
I
she
think, a
thinks.
red
because
That's
we
what
get
she
the evidence.
thinks. That's why she wrote that letter. But really, that letter just convicted him because we remember that the shoe that got thrown down had fucking clay on it.
And I think that's a red herring. Because all of the evidence.
Although I've been wrong before, so who knows?
That's
well,
true.
you know what though? We've been wrong because we've been looking at like witness statements and trying to find contradictions rather than just looking at the pictures and the evidence. And so we know from the coroner that there was clay on the shoe that was thrown.
Mhm.
Yes. And
Right.
as you said, the only person who was in the room with the clay, had a key to the newsroom to lock it, and was in that room was this jamoke.
Yeah. And was a
All right.
liar. He's a lying liar pants.
Yes.
All right, well said. Let me go to
Is
On-
he even still alive? Like he's old.
And I just said we've been making,
Yeah, he is.
well, I mean, making this too complicated. I don't know.
well, actually I don't know if he is either. All right, convict the killer. Here we go.
He's not working at the school anymore. We know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, use the form below to prove you found the smoking gun that will connect the killer directly to Jamie's death. Question number 1. Which of these documents holds an important clue that directly connects the killer to Jamie?
The paper.
The
Pottery
coroner. The coroner.
coroner,
report
yeah.
with the clay on the shoe.
All right.
Well, it's the
Is that not on there?
no,
Are they
it's
both
the
on there?
evidence, It's evidence property custody.
Oh, the evidence custody document?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which says the blue sneakers.
Okay, where is that? Evidence custody property.
And it's on the second page.
Oh, second page.
The blue sneakers.
Blue sneakers.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. New condition blue sneakers and white shoelaces. A few small splatters of orange, yellow, and red latex house paint on the left shoe, and a smudge of clay on the heel of the right shoe. All right, so evidence custody document. That is one of our options.
Okay.
Pick it.
That's it.
Let's click it. Correct. Question 2. Which of these documents tells us where the clay could come from?
Miss
Sophie
Marston's
Sun-
class.
The letter from Dowling.
The options are Sophie Sunday witness statement, Principal Dowling's witness statement, witness photo of Craig Zimmerman, Verona Voice newspaper,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's
photo
they talk
of
about
suicide note on screen.
they
well,
talk
the
about
paper
Pottery
because
Week
they talk about Pottery Week.
in the paper.
Boom. Verona Voice newspaper. Correct.
Woo!
Pottery Olympics competition. Question 3. Which of these 3 documents connects the killer to the clay on Jamie's foot?
Okay.
Dowling's note.
Dowling's note.
Letter from the principal.
Yep.
Boom.
Right.
Yes. Correct. There's also the other options: interrogation of Paul Preakness, person of interest form Paul Preakness, class photo on the bleachers, case closed document.
No, it's got to be
No.
it's got to be Dowling's letter.
Yeah.
No. Which 3 documents?
Oh shit.
Oh.
So he's not in the class
Preakness
photo because
the
he's
one
not in
working-
it.
Wasn't Preakness the one working on all that bullshit too?
He was painting.
He was painting,
Oh, okay.
but also like Gelding's not in the class photo. So there's more evidence. So we got him. He's not in the class photo.
Oh, so class photo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let me pull
we need something that says the class is an art class.
Well, that was her letter,
That was her letter.
and we
Letter
knew
from the principal we got. Moments before Jamie died, he stopped into her studio art class. So
Right.
boom,
Yes.
check mark.
Okay.
Now, it would also which 3 documents connect the killer?
So we
to
have
the-
two.
to
We have 2 of the 3.
What was
Now
the
the
other
case closed document, which was the thing we started at the very beginning of
Yes.
this episode, which was this one. Significant evidence. Let's see. Maybe this is the all school photo was taken at the time the victim fell. It was immediately developed and includes all but 5 students and staff. All 5 of those individuals were thoroughly interrogated about their whereabouts. No. Gelding.
Doesn't really say anything.
Well, what a Gelding's statement says he examined. What is there? Is one of the options the one where Gelding says he examined all of the projects?
Yes, that's his. That's the interview.
Nope, not an option. It's
Okay.
either it's Preakness's POI, Preakness's interrogation, class photo, or the case closed document. Because we're correct on the letter from the principal.
Let's say what Preakness has to say.
Yeah, probably. Maybe it's the case closed and the class photo together.
Wait, are we still saying it was Gelding, or could it have been Preakness?
No, but
No.
we have to
It's
look
Gelding.
at it's Gelding, but we have to look at Preakness' statement to
What
see
he said.
He said he missed the pep rally. When Jamie jumped, I was in the auditorium fixing part of the Romeo and Juliet set. The balcony where Romeo calls up to Juliet had tipped over during our opening night performance, and the entire support structure collapsed. It had to be addressed before tomorrow's performance, so it was either miss the pep rally or miss the game. So I opted out of the pep rally.
Okay. Wait.
Okay, so remember in Gelding said like about the secret affair, like she would never talk about that. I'm the only one she talked to about that.
Mhm.
Preakness says in his interview, now that you mention it, I do remember her saying something like that. During audition, she said something about relating to the character because of her own forbidden relationship. And Gelding said, I'm the only one she talked to about that. I'm the only one who knew about it.
Yeah, but is that one of the options? The person.
Preakness interview.
Preakness's interrogation is.
Interrogation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But are we proving? Do we have to prove motive?
No.
But it says which of these 3 documents connects the killer to the clay on Jamie's foot.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was like. Okay. What?
We got 2 of
What
them.
do we? Yes. What is left?
So
The case
letter,
closure
the
doesn't
letter
really
from the
say
principal we
anything.
got. Case
Yeah.
closed document, I'm not really sure. I think the class photo does. No?
No, because that doesn't. No. What's the next one?
Well, yeah, it does though, because maybe not. It doesn't.
It
But
has nothing to do with the clay. He's just not there.
right, but we know that he went to the studio art class,
Right.
Mhm.
and then that he wasn't there, so he would have clay, right?
So he went.
Well, I think-
so the
I
thing
mean-
is, he went directly from the art class.
To
her.
go kill her.
He never
Yeah.
went there. Yeah.
Right. I
Right,
want to
but
click on that one.
that proves his like that he doesn't have an alibi. I don't know if it proves the Clay.
Okay, wait. Say all of the ones that are options.
Case closed document.
Case closed.
Class photo on the bleachers. Person of interest form from Paul Preakness. Interrogation of Paul Preakness. And then one of them, which we already got right, was the letter from the principal.
Is the person of interest the blue one?
Okay, so it has to be
Yes. Yes, it is.
case closed document.
I mean, it kind of bullshit that they narrow it down like this, but I do feel like the photo
Yeah.
would be one of them. Don't you think?
Yes. He's the only person who would have clay on him. That would.
Should I check it?
But what's the third one? Wait, what?
Do we need 3 or just need one of them?
You have class photo, letter from the principal, and you need one more.
It says, which of these 3 documents connects the killer?
Oh, it's which of these 3, not 3.
Oh, am I an idiot? Yeah, but there's 5. All right, I'm gonna do letter from the principal then and just check my answer, see what it says. Correct.
You think it's just a typo?
Well, why would it say that? Yeah, it says which of
these 3, and there's 5.
Which of these 3, and there's 5 of them, but then there's only one that's right. How dumb is that?
Oh my god, that is.
Oh my god.
Who made this game?
Oh my god.
It's a typo.
Oh, actually, we have something here. But I can't share my screen. Oh shoot, let me do it this way. This is gonna take a second here, Rye, because I think I need to. I don't think I can do it from this.
Oh, you're gonna have to log out and log back in again?
I think I am, just because it's silly, but I think that's correct. But it looks like we actually have.
We have a video?
I think we have a video.
We got a video.
We have a video. So let me just jump right in here in a second. Hold on.
All right, Rich will be right back. So thank you all for thanks for putting
sticking around.
another 2.5 hours for sticking around with us through this. This was a little bit tougher than I think we made this a little tougher than it needed to be.
I think we made this more complicated too.
For sure.
It is a game, but again, I mean, I think if this is a real thing, right? If this were a real thing, you being a lawyer, right?
Yes.
The steps we took were correct, right? That I need to talk to this guy about why he's diagnosing kids and not telling their parents and that's
yes.
And I think there would have been different ways for this to come out, and it wouldn't be so linear.
Correct. Yes.
And I think it was silly of us to not pay attention to the new evidence we got each time.
Right.
It's nothing. The obituary is nothing. But I still believe. Yeah.
Well, I find fault with the photo that we were supposed to examine, basically erased writing
that we couldn't we couldn't see. That put us at a distance. If we were able to see the name Samson, as someone clearly did, that would have made it a whole lot easier for all.
Well, I think if it was one word didn't get erased, like CPR,
right?
He was in a hurry, and it was very clear one word. I feel
now, Rich, looking at the photo, can you see the name at the actual photo? Look at the actual photo of the chalkboard.
No, I mean maybe you could, but I can't with my eyesight.
Well,
no
wear
chance.
Your glasses. Put on your glasses for crying outs.
No chance.
Do you have contacts?
No, he has glasses. He just doesn't.
What
wear
are you
them.
too cool for glasses?
Yeah. Well, no, I just don't wear them. I think they may have broke. I do have glasses.
He has glasses.
I didn't know he had glasses, and I've known him for a long time at this point.
What are you, ashamed of glasses?
Are you supposed to drive with him, Rich?
No. I can pass the thing at the DMV without them.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't pass the thing in DMV.
I cannot. I wear glasses all the time.
The guy with fucking 2010 couldn't read it.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Here we go. All right. Hold on. This is gonna be good. Oh,
Okay.
oh shit! I don't want to do a full screen thing.
Yes,
Hold
you
on.
do.
No, not a full screen. Am I back?
No, you're good now. Yeah.
All right. Let me figure this out here, because
God damn it.
this is gonna be good.
Oh,
This is gonna
you
be
keep
good.
saying that. There we go.
I think it's gonna be good. All right, ready?
Yes.
Daniel Tosh,
What the? We can't hear it.
volume.
Can you not hear it?
No.
Can't hear it.
Oh, shit. This thing is a real stinky thing. Hear it. All right. Let's go like this. Because you guys could hear the intro at the beginning, right?
Mm-mm.
No, nothing.
No.
Yes, we could. When
At
you
the beginning of
did
the episode.
Oh,
I mean.
yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I think I got this right. All right. Sorry. So, thanks for sticking by. Here we go.
There it is.
There we go.
Good.
Verona
Okay.
community is in shock today over a chilling murder confession of former high school guidance counselor Dr. Benjamin Gelding. We now go to Ali, who is live at East Verona High School.
Thank you, Seb. Dr. Benjamin Gelding worked as a guidance counselor here at East Verona High School for over 35 years until retiring in 2015. Earlier today, he confessed to pushing a student out of the 6th floor window of the school on November 20th, 1992.
Bastard.
According to Verona PD, Gelding was having an affair with the student and pushed her out of the window when she threatened to go public about their relationship. Dr. Gelding also covered up the crime by creating a fake suicide note and lying to police about the victim's past history of suicidal thoughts. For more information about that investigation, I'll turn it over to Ron, live from the Verona police station.
What do you got, Ron?
Ms.
Ron.
Banks' death was originally ruled a suicide by Verona police detectives, but was recently reopened due to new information provided by an independent investigator who was able to prove Ms. Banks was not alone when she fell from the window and proved Dr. Gelding lied about his whereabouts on the day of the murder. Currently in his 70s, Dr. Gelding is facing multiple charges and is expected to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Fucking good.
Back to you in the studio, Seb.
Thanks, Ron. We'll have more information on this story as it develops. And after the break, we have exclusive interviews about the Johnny Rocker High School football betting scandal. We'll hear from two of his former teammates, Emmanuel Russell and James Lowe. Stay tuned.
Where the heck did that come from?
How
Where'd they get
about
sent
that?
from?
How about that, everybody?
Holy moly.
We did it.
So
Right,
that
right.
whole betting scandal thing, a red herring.
It's a red
Her
herring.
article was not going to be about Johnny Rocca. It
It
was
was
going to
gonna-
be about her and Gelding getting it on.
Why would you write that article?
Seems like a fucking terrible article to write.
I'm going to write an article about you and me.
I'm a real
making
hooer.
out.
Real hooer. Yeah.
Eric asked a very important question. What's in envelope C?
Ooh.
It's probably his confession.
Hopefully it is like 50% off your next murder mystery. All right, let's see what it says. It says, congratulations, detective. You solved case number B1711201992. If you enjoyed these, sign up for more. All right, but there's
Well, I did enjoy
With
it.
a
All right.
50% coupon code.
I got a Joey Ferrari witness statement form.
What?
You already have that. Is there another one?
This looks like it could be another one.
Hmm.
Joey Ferrari. He says the following, and I have another statement here too. After seeing the news report about Jamie Banks and Dr. Gelding, I've decided to come forward with information I've withheld for decades about this case. I knew that Jamie and Gelding were having an affair, but I never told anyone. It happened when I was visiting Earl Sampson in the 5th floor bathroom a few days before Jamie died. I was near the window and heard the sounds of two people kissing near the window in the newsroom above. You could tell there was a great passion because the kissing was quite loud, but I couldn't
Ew.
tell who it was until Gelding started describing the parts of his brain that were getting activated, and Jamie laughed.
Ew.
No.
I kept my mouth shut because I think Jamie was about to write a story exposing my betting scam with Johnny, and I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. Yes, that's right. Johnny Rocca and I cheated Verona out of thousands of dollars with the betting scheme I concocted.
We knew
Johnny
that.
could single-handedly control the games, but he refused to lose, so I got him to keep the scores close and we'd bet against the spread. It worked great until the championship when our team was only favored by 3 points. I wanted a sure win, so I talked him into throwing it completely and letting the Colts win by a landslide. It worked, and we cleaned up over $100,000 cash.
Wow.
Money.
That cash would have really helped me in college. Too bad we took it to Atlantic City on Thanksgiving break. I also have, Jesus Christ, a double-sided voluntary statement by Dr. Benjamin Gelding.
So it's his confession.
Okay. Yeah, it must be.
Anything of note in there?
Oh my God, I don't even know. I, Dr. Benjamin Gelding, being duly sworn and legit adult of a sound mind, blah, blah, blah. I murdered Jamie Banks on Friday, November 20th, 1992.
Did they, with that confession, did they tell him they would let him watch WrestleMania?
Poor guy.
If he confessed, they'll let him watch WrestleMania.
I don't think so. As a mental health counselor familiar with impulse control disorders, I attribute my actions to a momentary suppression of the anterior
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, shut up.
Consulate and the middle frontal gurgus triggered by a rush of infamous. No. And if it hadn't been for my chalkboard revision and a tour through the art studio, I would have gotten away with it.
And you pesky kids.
Pesky kids. Those dork kids. Could have gotten away with it.
Well,
we did it.
Did we, though?
I mean, all right. Here's my thing.
We didn't not solve it.
We did not solve it. And like,
the first objective, I feel like we came together as a team, chat, people here.
No wrong guesses. Night 1.
Right.
Night 2.
And I say to you, I will say again, if I could have read the actual photo of the chalkboard, it would have helped.
I mean, from my perspective, there was nothing except for just blur.
It looked like it was erased.
Right.
It looked like they erased it all.
And I feel like there should have been like a word or two left. Like if he was really erasing something in haste, I feel like he would have left one word. One word.
Yeah,
and
see,
you're saying we did narrow it down to 2 people, and the most likely out of the 5, the most likely.
And Jordan's with me. Jordan's with you. If I couldn't read the chalkboard, I couldn't see it.
No, and nobody could. If Davey Eyeballs couldn't read the bottom line, nobody could. From the stuff that we could see, we nailed it.
Absolutely.
We couldn't see that bullshit. Billy D's right. We probably should do another one.
We probably should do another one.
I wonder if there's a more digital one. You know what I mean?
Let's look.
Oh, yeah, good question.
Next week,
like rather than hard copy. I feel like
I had to scan these 3,000 goddamn documents for you guys.
What are the names of these things? Like, what is it called?
I'm going to tell you off air. People will probably be able to find it, but I don't want people to cheat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like
overall it was good though.
It was good. It was fun.
It was fun.
This was a nice break.
Good time.
I'm still steaming though that we couldn't get it.
We got it.
I was so sure when I thought that the principal said the door was locked and she had the keys and you had to lock it behind you. And I think
you nailed that.
No, that made sense.
That made sense.
But I also knew my gut, and hopefully if we get more of these, they're not all so like on the nose in a way, but like we went over 1 million documents in the first objective. The second objective, we only got 2, and one of the big flags was from one of the 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And remember, I was even like, I don't even know if I should
from
read this, but the fucking back part of the obit, and that's what it was.
And the one we got, the next one was the letter from Dowling that talking about him staying in the art class. Like that was a dead giveaway too. So it was like, you just I say when you jumped off, I said we just got to next time we got to pay more attention to like the new stuff.
I do think the fun of the game is the first part. Like there's so much to go in, and like it's the Johnny Rocca stuff was like obviously like, hey, look over here, but like I thought it's really well done at first, but then it's like if it's so reliant on like what's behind envelope 2, it's like,
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is like you guys were right in that that he was making up the stuff about her past, about her
right.
But that didn't factor into solving anything.
No, it didn't.
No.
Right.
No, we just had a
on map.
Right.
And also they were like, they really laid it on thick that like the relationship was with Preakness, but it obviously was with Gelding.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, gang. Crazy.
Crazy shit.
Well, you know,
Well, it was fun.
I had a great time.
Had a wonderful time.
Had a blasty blast. Well, there you go. That is the Jamie Banks story,
Out the
part
window.
2. Out the window. The Jamie Banks story, part 2. Thanks to everybody who was watching along tonight. Yep, Shime, you were right.
You're right. He wrote
Dr.
it.
Gelding did write the suicide note.
You got it.
Maybe
You
we'll
got it,
take maybe we'll take a short break from murder mysteries, but I don't see why we wouldn't go back to this.
Well, eventually, yeah.
I think we could dive back in.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you guys have anything else you want to say? Anything at all?
Us?
Fiend for mojitos.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back to like the objectives
Anything at
are
all.
very specific,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I mean,
the
he was
problem
right.
is,
He
too,
did
I
write
think-
the note, and so
I think if we do it again to really sort of up the challenge, what you have to do is knowing that to prove things, you have to point to specific documents before we even look at the multiple choice. We have to be like, here's who it is, here's why.
right.
You know what I mean? And being like, rather than looking at the 5 and like, oh shit, let's go back to these 5
So
and
the
like
next-
pick out what it is.
If we do this, whatever one you get next time, tell Team Davey ahead of time, and we will buy the same one.
I was thinking the same thing. I'll
So
do
I
the same
actually have the
thing.
physical documents in front of
Oh,
me.
okay. But
I
I also
would
think it
too.
helps. It still helps to have them scanned because I think people like to look at them in the
Oh,
YouTube.
no,
they-
no,
yeah,
but I
definitely
mean,
do.
like,
Absolutely.
Oh,
how
for
could I
you
have seen
guys
the
to
doc-
read
yeah,
them.
Yes.
like, I need to read them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, no, because like I said, I had told you before, I had friends who watched it and they were like, I wish I just had hard copies.
Oh, yeah.
So like I could kind of go through it.
I agree.
Which same thing for me. I kind of
And from what we've seen in this one, they're easier to see. You know?
Couldn't
Yeah.
see it.
Couldn't
Well,
see it.
and then the other thing too is how much the evidence actually plays into it. So you're not
Yeah.
looking for so much like
Right. No, that's true too. All right. Well, Jesus Christ. Great job, everybody.
Hey, good job all around.
Hey, nice job, everybody. The chat, Dork Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be back next week with another
yeah, the
episode
guys
of
in the
something.
chat room were great.
Yes. Chat room did a great job.
Oh, and someone said too, murder board next time.
yeah, I need a murder board.
You need a murder board.
Need a murder
It would
board.
have helped. I can, you know what? I have a cork board that I need to pick up from my school. I'll bring it home. It's giant.
All right, you go.
Well, and I was so focused on like pulling up all the images on the computer that like it kind of took away that I actually have like a file, like I'm like a real detective, and like I just wanted to be able to flip through
Yeah,
the
I
file.
kind of want to hold on to that. You know,
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
We do need conspiracy yarn.
Conspiracy
You're right.
yarn.
Yeah.
I'll get some yarn. Different color yarn.
wait,
Yeah.
hang on.
Suspect. Witnesses.
What
What
are
are
you
you
doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Oh,
There you go.
he wants to share his screen.
Yeah.
Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia next time.
All right, everybody. Good stuff out there. Good detective work.
Great job.
All right.
All right, okay.
Okay, bye.